So it is very important, sir, that yes, I know your committee, you've done a wonderful job, good recommendations, but now how do we turn this to practical strategy on the ground to domesticate it? And so that when we are saying that, when we are reading the communique, it's going to be something that, okay, it is very easy that we can implement this, So for group members, those that were not in the study group, what we're supposed to do is look at their recommendations. Okay, so you are letting them to, providing the background now. Once you get to your recommendations, you must to question it. This one, is it practicable? Is it enforceable? Now, do we need to, is it doable? Can we get government buying in? Is it actionable? So what this group should bring out, the actionable recommendations. And thank you, sir, for what you are doing. Very importantly, because before we can get, before all these things that has to do with government, let's not deceive ourselves. Maybe until one of us gets there, until an Akure-Speaking song gets there, that's when we can do most of this. But now, what are the things that we can do ourselves? What can we do ourselves? But very importantly, we must change the narrative. That in the next 6 months, 1 year, we'll draw it and say, oh, this is one of the things that we did here, and it is being implemented. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. Before you leave, sir, we are conscious of that, sir. Do you understand me? When we get to recommendation, I move one after the other. If we come back before lunch, we'll stop it and continue. But we are conscious, like we said, sir, we are conscious of one thing. Because your government could live outrightly is this. Agric is the concurrent legislative list in the federal constitution, in the constitution of the federal government of Nigeria, sir. And we are praying that the president will be re-elected. To give the local government the full autonomy of the state government. Then, like I said, sir, I move around 8 local government offices under a project. I discover some local governments are doing wonderfully well when it comes to agriculture. I want to mention Akure Kingdom. What the federal is doing is so wonderful. If you interact with the chairman of the federal local government, because we interacted with him. So there are certain things government can facilitate. No, we are not saying government should do it absolutely. Yeah. We are talking of public-private partnership issue now. Yeah. So this innovation platform, it doesn't cost government anything. Yeah. All the community associations can come together and so on and so forth. Absolutely, we are not recommending absolutely for government to. Our farmers will be involved at every phase of implementation. Then Ọlọ́run fún wa ṣe ọmọ rẹ̀ á débẹ̀ sá. Ṣùgbọ́n a fẹ́ kí débẹ̀ kíkan rẹ̀ mọ́ akálẹ̀ akábọ̀ kí mo fẹ́ ṣe with respect to ọ̀pẹ, mo fẹ́ ṣe with respect to cocoa or fishes, or we have a process of fishes here. We will have had a something here. Then, sir, lastly, at least a policy document will be put in place. Ọlọ́run whoever God will support to become governor, Akure Kingdom, very soon. Ọlọ́run ti mọ̀. Àlàáfíà, sir. Thanks for giving us this opportunity to sit down together. Inshe go on this side.
With a very, very well thought through, well put together business register. Well thought through business register. Please, it's very important that we put this down if we are a very well thought through, because by the time I checked through that document, we had some businesses that are no longer even in existence. You know, some businesses that have been under. I went through the whole of that document. I did not see John Vance. John Vance. Do you know John Vance? Who else knows John Vance here? I did not see John Vance there. I went through the whole of that document. I did not see agro-traders. Agro-traders, right there around CBN. Yes, CBN there. Who is, in fact, by the time you want to talk about cocoa traders in West Africa, yes, Sunbet was there, but it wasn't well captured. It wasn't well captured. Not well captured.
And several of us and their communities in Akure North with no hope of settlement in sight. That is another school of thought. But we heard from the Justice mouth, Lano, the Deji said, Deji said, if we reach a congruence and we agree, why not we take the agreement to court, it becomes judgment. I said it yesterday, which is answer to some of these questions, more or less. Perceived.
I can still understand that argument.
Several obas and chiefs in Akure North, chieftaincy litigation, attributed lack of unity in the old division, particularly in Akure North, to several litigations in court between the Deji and some obas and their communities in Akure North Deji, with no hope of settlement in sight. It's either Deji ló gbé wọn lọ court or àwọn ló gbé Deji lọ court, but case pọ̀ ní court tí ò dẹ̀ sí hope pé àwọn ò rí hope of settlement in sight pé it's endless litigation process.
Why? That's how I
You address it, sir.
I agree with you the way you address it. That's because it's a sin for press to be in the court.
Tẹ́ bá ti ń give the mark in, sir. Tẹ́ bá ti ń give the mark in. Another study, perceived inaccessibility to the Deji and lack of robust communication. You see, when I'm talking, I'm using perceived. Several obas allege that certain administrative bottlenecks within the Deji's palace has made the Deji inaccessible, and that such lack of communication to relate freely with the Deji has continued to create distrust. For example, some traditional rulers, particularly from the Fedore, with ancestral links with the Deji, Oba Arakale descendants, Ipogun, Asharun, Ero, gbogbo wọn bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn wọ́n náà Ọmọ Arakale ni wọ́n ìbúlẹ̀. Complain bitterly of shabby treatments during traditional visit to.
Mo bá débẹ̀, omi fẹ́ bọ́ lójú mi. Fortunately, I have the soft copy of the implementation.
Now, one particular
point, I could not particularly, I had to rely on what I was given in that to be able to build this. But I believe strongly that this may not be exactly correct. We may need to ascertain this and be sure. One of the things we also be looking at is tourism. Tourism in the Akure-Speaking areas. The Akure-Speaking areas now, I don't think Indore is an Akure-Speaking area. It's an Akure-Speaking town, but is in the Fedore local government. So that was what we thought about, to be able to include this in this document as a UNESCO tentative World Heritage Site. It has been a tentative site since 2007. How do we make it a UNESCO permanent tourism site? What is required to make it a permanent site for UNESCO? Although it is not but we can still claim it because it's part of the Fedore. Okay. Maybe we should just leave that out. Let's leave Idore out. Bring all those people together. So if we remove the Akure now, we can. They are Fedore, so we can annex them. We can still. So if we have an Ajoshik or another name that is not Akure-Speaking, we can annex the Idore. We can annex Idore. That way is not Akure-Speaking. We can annex Idore and say, okay, we have this. Yes, where's the Fedore? Come around and yes, a suburb. Yes, a suburb. So in Smoking Hills, we have Smoking Hills in Ilaramokin. Smoking Hills in Ilaramokin, that's also part of Fedore local government. Yes, they have a golf course. We have
Our youths.
or even mere call. pé join me bá mi lé church o mò ń bọ̀ ládùúgbò yín o.
ọkọ̀ fárúnrin ọ̀ṣá ni. So these are sectors we must look at. We must capture our children at the various schools level. In fact, a lọ ṣe program kan ní Oyemekun grammar school sir on onion production. Ìyẹn ọmọ ni ọmọ kan fọ nkún bá délé ń àsọfọ àbá bóyá yóò fún lé o. Because he was involved in establishing and maintaining those things. Ìkànnì yóò fún lé o. Wọ́n àṣekè wọ́n àyàgbìn onion because what he saw fascinated him so much. Church for Prof who law. Okay. So we must capture them. There are a lot of recommendations here on that. Kabadebe, you'll be able to guide us further on what to do. Then, under 2.1, general constraints. At the Solids, there are challenges at various levels of the value chains. Okay, Akure were involving. There are so many challenges at various levels. Challenges at the production level, challenges at the processing level, challenges at the marketing level, challenges at my professor. God bless you so much, sir. So many levels. Then I've mentioned the challenge of improper coordination of all the actors along the value chains of most of these commodities. In fact, there was a time I took cassava, roots, be 3 tons to Matna Foods, le Ogbese. Moshe wala ni mugbedebe. On dictate price. One stupid price. On dictate for me. Me, I was a program manager of ADP then. I was in service. Me and Shemili Yeki contribute to destruction of this company. They were targeting profit, but they were doing it ungodly. Honestly speaking, I can write a gelo in agbe. Oh my God! It's a choice. Choice here. Me provide choice for me. Subsequently, what I just did, how is cassava in Owo? In fact, I sold my cassava roots at Emure market. Do I do that year? The remaining cassava roots, moko besi wu, mo besi kolo Emure. Ko ba ti de Emure be báyìí. Yan obìnrin ni ati du, ati ba ole, bon se le. Okay, matna ta hypothetically for 20,000. I was selling for 40,000 naira at Emure market. Honestly speaking, so this is why we say there must be proper coordination. For processors, processors, ṣé màá gbé cassava mi lọ ru matna ni. So èmi gan mọ̀rẹ̀ bẹ̀sẹ̀ sọ fún èèyàn, mẹ sọ fún èèyàn farmer ní Ọ̀wọ̀ Àkókò, take your cassava to Ọba Àkókò farm, Ọba Àkókò market, Emure market. Don't take it to matna. Your matna ya bẹ̀ mí gbé yín ní ọ́fíìsì ni o. They are GM. I said, it's not about begging me. You know I'm in extension. They will always want to, change policy. Over profit is too much. On the bow, on share. If me from me no more the baby, say ba on be again. Okay, mat that is shaking you until one increase price want to I think to about 35,000 naira. So by the time I now sat down, she not my cooking lawyer, remember, move 5,000 code Emure o. Pay is good. Car patronize, you know. Even more the best. But also something like Matna is now buying cassava for I know at a very good price. So, ditto for poultry. In fact, can you come back produce at the year now? particularly at the festive season, and you know, they have no place to sell after some time. At the Abesi, well, 14 weeks, 15 weeks, 16 weeks, more long, they'll be feeding it. Can't feed it. Size reduce. So where are we going to? But for getting around to Joko, okay, let's do processing. Okay, central storage facility bar that somebody can you know operate, or a group of people can operate. Farmer lose. That's why it's no. We'll get there. Okay, time.
Joy-Fired pharmaceuticals right in Obaile there. That's the only one. And I can tell you for a given that if they take out the fact that, oh, maybe there are some people who don't pay on time, I believe strongly that the products they are manufacturing there, they cannot even satisfy the Akure-Speaking area. And if you can't even satisfy the Akure-Speaking area, you can see, if you need to get to Ilukpeju in Lagos, to know the opportunities that we Nigerians are not seeing. Who are the people that live in Ilukpeju, Lagos? Indians. They have a school. They have in fact, I'm sure there are some Indians there who have been there for, who have given birth to children that cannot speak English. That's how much they've owned that community. But why are they here? Is the market. The market is crazy. I promise you. If you are not trading, you won't understand it. The Nigerian market is huge. It is unbelievably huge. Unbelievably huge. Like I mentioned to you, there are certain pharmaceutical products that sell 1 million units every day. 1 million units. And by that 1 million units, you have a markup of say like 15 naira on it. So imagine, and still they cannot satisfy the market. So these are areas where we can channel our structured capital and make sure that we have the best from it. So we are looking at investment areas. We are looking at opportunities and investment areas. We have a farmer wholesale and logistic hub that we are projecting we are proposing a 3 billion to 7 billion there. Advanced diagnostics and scan centers. May we not be on that. May Nigeria not happen to us in health-wise, negatively, because there are ways Nigeria will happen to you positively. May Nigeria not happen to us negatively, and then you need an MRI. Imagine a person who needs his brain scanned, still having to go through, when this Akure road was still bad, still having to go through Akure and then go through potholes to get to Abuad. So I see a lot of people building universities. I'm like, I need to understand how you want to recoup this money in the shortest possible time that you have invested in building a university. We have a shortage of diagnostic centers. I'm sure the MRI in Abuad, I'm sure as we speak, they cannot even take all of the people that come. Even when they take all the people that come, people can't afford. And that's because they are the only ones. And how much does it cost? A good MRI machine will cost in the borders of $100,000 to $120,000. It's not a lot of cost to invest in, because in the shortest possible time, the money will be recouped. We also talked about secondary medical consumables plants. What are the consumables we are talking about? We are talking about needle and syringe. Syringes, we are talking about as little as cotton wool. We are talking about as little as, gloves, face masks. As we speak, I know of 2. One just started and then they are really, really coming. I know of 3. Daily Ject, there's Jubilee in Akwa Ibom that folded up. I don't know how and why. We need to know why that folded, because if we are also going about this, as much as this offers a lot of opportunities, we should also look at the people who have come behind us have failed. What caused their failure? We should also, as we are studying successes, we should also study failure. What contributed to their success? The ones that failed. What contributed to their failure? So that at the end of the day, we can categorically march on and be able to avoid pitfalls, while we also ride on the successes of others. Specialized tertiary clinics. Right now, like I mentioned, may Nigeria not happen to us negatively. Because as much as we have doctors, as much as we have health professionals, professional flights right now, we can also have a level of specialized tertiary clinic where we are importing doctors. We don't have enough doctors in the country right now, and they are all still going out in droves. So you get to a public hospital now, they are telling you that you have to wait for 2 months to see the consultants. And it was in coup. It only coup before the 2 months gone quick. So what now happens? Many of them are channeling patients to their private clinics. That's the consultants. So you come to a state hospital here. There is a nephrologist you want to see. There are more than 100 persons who want to see the nephrologist, and then they are letting you know, if you can afford it, the hospital is here. Come. And even at that, I mean, the pharmaceutical sector.
It's bitter with Sheironi, bitter with Ilara. Pé wọ́n fẹ́ ṣọ̀nà dọ́dọ̀ pé wọ́n sọ pé kọ́ má gbọ̀nà borí ilẹ̀ wọn. Pé wọ́n dẹ̀ landlock àwọn. That is an issue that's supposed to be addressed. Ìṣìnìgbò ó ní issue tiẹ̀ Àṣìnìgbò pẹ̀lú Ìgòbà ó ní issue pẹ̀lú Ìlàdó ó ní issue pẹ̀lú kí lorúkọ ilé tó ń jà yẹn ó sí. Those are issues around that place among themselves. So, okay, who is resolving it? Àwọn náà court ya, ìjà ya, banditry. Banditry náà la lè pè ká kó ìbọn ká dà ká lọ máa attack ara wa banditry náà. Yes. So those are the issues that Rita study as contained in this paper. Now, I studied the ODI report. The ODI report and the draft constitution for the proposed central body were examined vis-a-vis views collated from our study talk and focus group discussion. While the entire report and draft constitution captures the very essence of the proposed central body, the document still requires more deliberations and modifications. More importantly, stakeholders across the edges who harbors various feelings of alienation and fear of domination deserve to be given a voice in crafting the new constitution. This school of thought believe that they should be part of the conceptualization. They furthered the idea of the core Akure South elite with the winner takes all syndrome to always incubate ideas, establish structures before other edges are invited to join. So they are arguing that even from the conception, it is not the fault of the ODI people. ODI work within the mandate, not for one. But this school of thought are saying that even the ODI, pé ó yẹ káwọn jọ jókòó, pé èèyàn lára àwọn mélòó ló wà ní ODI, pé ó yẹ káwọn jọ jókòó, káwọn jọ incubate constitution yẹn ni. So it is in this regard we are saying, okay, we are not throwing away the ODI report, not to ṣe wàhálà. So we'll submit it to secretariat even before the body is formed. Let us there be a collegiate or a delegate, a small delegate from the local government to now look at it. Or when the body is formed, it is not, let it now be referred to the body. Okay, constitution tó ti ṣe tẹ́lẹ̀ rí o, ẹ yẹ̀ wò. To this end, it is suggested that the ODI document should form the pillar and basis for future discussion by a pro tem assembly, not the central council, by a pro tem assembly or a steering committee drawn from the 3 local governments on representative basis to review the ODI draft constitution and present their modifications to the proposed traditional council or a select committee of obas from the 3 local governments for ratification and establishment. See, bá àtẹ̀tí form central council yẹn tó bá máa pẹ́ jù jẹ́ kí àwọn each local government kan send the bóyá 5 people or 10 people kan jókòó kan ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wá tún kan ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wá tún ṣe then kan wá present ẹ̀ fún a select committee of obas tá a bá ti ní international council káwọn náà wò ó tó bá ti ratify ẹ̀ tán register ẹ̀ when the body is formed wọ́n á rí a broad based document to capture everywhere to operate with. Time to collaborate and work together. One lesson that should be learned from the ODI initiative and the document produced is that ideas of progressive development must always be muted by some leaders of thought or prime movers. When such so in this regard,
doing business, it's not relevant in agriculture. Those advanced countries, up till now, they still subsidize agriculture. The US, heavy subsidy. So we must encourage these local governments to also subsidize agriculture, especially farm inputs, planting materials, even the tractorization. They can subsidize it. If, for example, to harrow an hectare, to get 2,500, just hypothetically, the local government can pay half of it, while the farmer pays the remaining half. That is a subsidy on its own. Then, insecticide, fungicides, and all of them. To about 1 liter of maybe herbicide, 3,000. The local government can subsidize 50% or whatever percentage, don't ever subsidize. But to leave everything to the farmer, it will be difficult for them to make profit. Yes, to break even. Then mechanization and tractorization, I've mentioned that. Then the schools in Agric in Schools program. As far back as early 90s, I wrote a paper on it. The government of the day then didn't do anything. But I can still modify the paper and send it to you. Let's try and encourage Agric in schools in our 3 local governments. When my wife was a headmistress of a school in Noda here, St. James's, mo kàn bè pé akàn abè fún ilé o kí n ṣe wo yóò rè sí o náà ẹ bá wo start a small poultry oníta ló máa sìn mi ọmọ èèyàn náà la ṣe èèyàn tíṣà rẹ and she started and 1 December during Christmas they made a profit of 85,000 naira profit tó ṣì dá lórí dá so ó ní iye èlò ní gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì fún ọ̀rọ̀ as subvention gbà mí bóyá 5,000 per unit kan so let's start it. Primary schools, secondary schools can start with raising of vegetables. You can plant pepper. I'm happy now that tomato is in. So many things that they can do to make money. And not only to make money, to also improve their nutrition. Àwọn fúnra wọn, wọ́n máa jẹ́nu ẹ̀. Wọ́n máa tà ń bẹ̀ irú ẹyin ẹ̀ ń sìn nígbà tí àwọn tí school ìyàwó mi wọ́n ń tà fáwọn staff as subsidized rates ìgbà tí wọ́n fẹ́ kọlu broilers wọn àwọn náà ló ń tà fún in fact people from the ministry came to buy wọ́n ní kó fún wọn nínú owó ló ń ná sí pé ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ rà it's sold to them so let's try and see what we can do with the Agric in schools. Then we must begin to look at ICT now. Technology, for example, to access markets. Our farmers, if they are able to use the internet, they can access the market, look at how much they are selling a ton of cassava, like my Gas, set, maize, and all of that. One more current prices. And then one the more between the matter, ọjà wọn sí, tó máa fi pé wọn. Then, weather forecasting is also something that they can also take advantage of through the use of the internet. NIMET is now dishing out daily weather predictions. And because I'm doing something with Life ND, which is also is aware of, I happen to be the consultant on the climate change. So I receive daily weather forecasts that we can also transmit to our farmers to guide them in their activities. Plant, back and harvest. Bóyá òjò àrò ló ní o, bóyá oníkan bá fẹ́ sáwọn àmọ̀ fọ kún tì ní sùúrù, or maybe the sunlight and all of that. So if they are internet compliant, they'll be able to access those ones. Then another very important area that I want us to also look at is processing and the value addition. We must look at processing and value addition. Thank God we have a comparative advantage in cocoa in our 3 local governments and in those states generally. Apart from the cocoa beans itself, there are so many so-called waste products that can be converted to money. The cocoa pod husk, for example, I have a write-up on it that they can process to cocoa black soap. They can process to fertilizer, organic fertilizer, don't bag. These are practical, so not theory. I know some farmers in Ondo East, in township, now they bag the long. Even poultry droppings. And our value chain don't mention everybody call them cocoa, everybody call them poultry. But if you have about 10 poultry farms, totally maloma co and droppings, one dry them, grind, bag, you'll be making money from it. People are making money from it. So everything I'm saying, like I said, we are talking from experience, and we believe we'll be able to sell all these things, and people will be able to buy them. Even the cocoa.
That they need. Of course, we've mentioned the cold room for perishables and vegetable products, also animal products. Of course, I doubt if we have any milk processing company. We don't. I think Ekiti was going to start at the time. I don't know how far they went with that. You know, these are things that we can work around. But in all of this, we must be able to at least look for ones that we can. Effort is good, but almost doesn't count. Almost doesn't. It is results. Mo lo, mo bo, mo she. So kilo wa mu bo, kilo mu bo. Mo so who cares? You have put in effort. Nobody cares. Results in it. Results almost does not count. I almost did it. I almost placed. That's not even one yet. So almost doesn't count. We must be able to get what we need per time, so that we can deliver results. So we also talked about agri-businesses, but like I mentioned, for these agri-businesses, we must be looking at 2 major things we've discussed, so that we don't lose trend of what we're talking about. Storage, value addition. For whatever thing we are looking at that we want to go into agribusiness, the major thing that we are looking at is how to make sure that we are not selling under pressure, and how to make sure that we are adding value. And one of the ways not to sell under pressure is adding value. So you have tomatoes. I've sold the ones I want to sell in raw form. How about tomato paste? With that, if I'm canning the tomato paste, if I'm sachetizing the tomato paste, I'm not under pressure to sell. I have added value to it. I can take it to the market. It has an expiry date of maybe 2 to 3 years. I can take it to the market and sell, and then it will bring in more profit because I've added value to it. So for whatever it is we are doing in agribusiness, it has to be on the premise. It has to be on the premise of. It has to be on the premise of value addition and storage. Thank you very much. So we talked about we are going back over to education now, education and digital economy. Education and digital economy. While we were preparing this document, the summit head had not advanced to Akure-Speaking. So in one way or the other, there are some institutions here that are not Akure-Speaking, and that is why we're also here to make sure we fine-tune whatever it is that we have here. So for the Akure-Speaking, we have federal institutions. We have the Federal College of Agriculture. We have the Federal University of Technology, Akure. We have University is ONDO West, but we have satellite campuses. So we also have private schools. We also have Adekule Ajashin is already that's Akoko area now. So what is the opportunity that we are proposing under the education aspect? It is still that student housing that we talked about. Student housing, the commercial ecosystems, the digital hubs. If we go to China, there is hardly any. Let me not say there's hardly, because that's almost like a very that's an absolute statement, and we must avoid absolutes. But if you go to China today, a secondary school leaver will rather go to, or let me even say a primary school leaver will rather go to a technical school than pursue all of the things we are doing here in terms of regurgitating notebooks from 10 years back and all of those things. Apple, you'll be surprised that Apple and Samsung and many of these industries in electronics have at least 70% of the components of all of those instruments, all of those appliances manufactured in China. You talk of the microprocessors, you talk of the chips, you talk of the speaker, you talk of this, and that. And that's because these people have a digital ecosystem. So when America, when all of the people in charge of whatever it is they want to produce from America goes to China, they are talking to the heads of these digital hubs. Give us this, produce 1 million units of this, produce 10,000 units of this, produce, and then they couple it, put it together, and then you have the iPhone 17. So we do not want a Federal University of Technology where the road to the school has a lot of potholes, and there are civil engineers in the school, and it starts small. It does not have to start from the big things. It starts small, but when we are doing that small, we must, as much as possible, amplify the voice of the small things we are doing. So if we are able to say, okay, it is microprocessors, we want to make sure that we have a digital hub in Futa to do, we must make sure we do it, but we must amplify the voice so that a lot of other people can also come and copy from that model and make sure that it works. Because Nigeria as it is also can yeah.
You can mix it with Yoruba.
Okay, Yoruba, okay. I'm applying MH. Okay. Sorry, sir. So we can make sure that we have that done. Tabale Shenye, I believe strongly that we will make a headway. We will make a headway. We will not just be sitting here just because it pay our summit. You understand it now?
So we have terminal there. That's one. And then when I say from cathedral now, that cathedral from a cathedral to a second market to army barracks, we have a U-turn terminal, and then now out straight to Cash Old, there to Okearo, there to Adofure. Adofure ne ati ope to ba de Adofure, we are now talking that day. But in future, or if that thing still move on, from Adofure it will lead straight to Idore. Very clear. it will not link straight to Idori. But it's either we'll create that terminal at Adofure, or we'll go and create the terminal straight at where? At Idori. We have a box there. And then lane 3, I'm still talking about this tram. Lane 3, from the High Court junction there, High Court to here, ele to tempo lati airport, straight, I'm going to lost straight. Now this one now, there will be a kind of junction, a link from that High Court straight to Oshile, to Oda Road. That will link straight together. We'll look at the two. And then, and having that, so that all the people in that area, that thing will just be actually moving them, and then at probably 450 to 700 meters, there will be a stop. That might drop on you and carry people, and drop on you. There will be a stop and carry people. And then line, I mean, the third lane, that will be lane 4, old, straight, I believe you are with me, to fly over, down straight to there, roadblock. Our land, after the Loma land, you see, and then for the tram. Metro line, these are kind of buses that apart, you see all those buses that are based on sustainable transport something, like Metro line. It could be a double-decker one, like the one they use in the UK or in the US. We will create an asset separately for it. We have been looking for the angles that will actually have for that aspect. But not create that you note, so that by the time we only call the consultant, these are the areas, go and bring out your report, go and bring out your design. So I'm only telling you the surface of it. All these things already on ground. Go and bring out, let us know your design. For instance, related mention like that Dwellers Road behind the Jaja back here, or they say, I just sent to Omolere National Primary School. But it will be a very beautiful road. It will be like Adeshida Road. And it will go like that. And then the number of houses we have marked there, and then some of the buildings there, they are old buildings. And let me just add here this point. We shared this idea as well with the governor, and also with the governor at that time as well, we'll mention it. And it will help us. It's not necessarily that anybody turn back, that this property have been acquired. You may not collect money. There will be that provision. You may not collect money. If you observe that, okay, they give you a building, they relocate you completely to another place, that will be that facility. So that already intended to have building in housing estate, in fact, this is Lado area, we have land there, that will have government estate there. And then that period we are thinking of completely relocating all the civil servants in Ala area, Alabaka. And then we'll switch for another purpose. And the purpose here, are married into this program. So that anybody, they are building that have been acquired, or property have been acquired, if they want money, it will be given to them. That is, pay their compensation. But if they say we are not interested in compensation, there will be another provision. Yes, another provision. Definitely, we can just move straight to this area. Completely, just move. So that are room for government to actually achieve all these kind of programs. And then all those parks, they are mentioned. That's why you see Futa North Gate, Ondo Road, Ring Road, intersection, airport area. And then this one, Elema, Koju, and others. The only thing is this. We will not be thinking about taxis and keke napep. Certainly, this one will be reduced. Because in some mega cities, you hardly see some particular thing. Iṣẹ́ tí yóò sí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ fi báyìí náà fi switch sí to be taxi drivers and keke napeps. Tíṣẹ́ bá ti wà dáadáa, this thing will certainly reduce. And then be Uber ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ náà máa lò. So that kaba tó wọ́n gbé ṣé kejì bá ti gbaṣẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àwọn taxi drivers àti kene, yes, we are displacing wọn, not really, but certainly. There's no way but there will be some areas. Tell me to share or no. I want to get it to water to get it. It may not even be reduced. Only just way I want not to share one year. Now my pass. To just I want the major roads here where we have trams, where we have metro line or buses. I'm like major. Just like in the UK, immediately you.
But we can start it now. In your community associations, Apex community association, each of the local government can start it. It's so important. They can have an online platform like WhatsApp platform. And with technical information, man use some of the platform may buy for their kini. You know, come back do problem. You know, see WhatsApp kini buy. I will go into archive and find solution and throw it. So, we need to emphasize that, sir. Secondly, we will need you in the future. In Josa, Imoja discourage our political leaders not to be involved in implementation of these policies. Imoja, when we when we tell the political class that they don't have business in doing business, sponsor your political talks. Because you are not encouraging them to come and invest in the agriculture, particularly in Kebibati called Nuisha. Osha Bujeo, Shuba Osha reduced tremendously. Osha Bujeo, Osha reduced tremendously. But we need you, sir. Then there are Akure sons and daughters who are very knowledgeable. In fact, when I was told that Professor Osofison is from Akure Kingdom, me. What a Professor Osofison. Mi so ma Akure le obìnrin kò ya computer de jẹ mi láti kete joy. Abi, there was a time I went to ITSA. Mo fẹ́ present the report. More one ka ba me type handwritten kini mi. Colleague me, Dr. Kojeko, look at computer set there. Restaurant computer set with printer, with everything. Memo computer look. 2004. Only go and use it. May yourself for memo computer look. Mugbere lati IT. Mosara se ojo road. Mo ya bi mo ti sáré wo process. Ijo kejì ni mo lọ futa. Ke mo ya ṣe certificate course in computer. Ejo na mo ti sọ fún kete èyàn. Kó bá fẹ́ ṣoríire le kini kwa, if you are not computer literate, you are, in fact, it's like AI. Only more AI lo ba, it's living in the past. So we need you, sir. There are technologies that we have developed. Uru akode sọ̀rọ̀ use of inorganic insecticide more. I can train people on development of biopesticides. I have the technology. In fact, mo te ti ṣe mo fẹ́ ma produce rẹ̀. You NAFDAC lè fún mi lé problem. Other for kick front, kick egg back. But we have the technology. Some of us are ready to train our Akure sons and daughters. If the chairman of Akure South calls you in the future, you are a livestock guru. Come and help me train my farmers on livestock production. You should be able to say no. I mean, say yes. Without anything attached to it, any string attached to it. Multi-train, they wanted to take me to Lagos. I'm not asking for money. Let me come and do the training. Just facilitate my movement to Lagos. Also, insist, because what you are calling me to come and train farmers on in Lagos, all on the Kodaru, I will come and do it. So, because one of our strong recommendations is capacity building. You are what you know in life. Is dictated by that is the truth. We must build capacities of our farmers. Thank you very much, sir. You can go.
In Sokene, sir, ipe olóṣèlú and some other things. Olóṣèlú, sir, can be in Baron Ed bring back with you. When they need you, Ed bring back with sir, being Sheba, Akure neba, a federal back at Raneba, you are an expert. Ki Omoria, Code Debeba, yẹ kan ya kan from one ká ṣe essay to the governor of agriculture yẹ kan ya wá kan ya money kò ṣe so what I'm trying to say is that you are very useful document wọn náà normal lo so and you find out that things will work ọ̀yá sọ̀yà kọ́ àbára tẹ̀ lọ.
nkujoko accountant ni mo rè àṣírò yìí ó ṣùgbọ́n mi ò ṣiṣẹ́ lé agric àti fàdámà so àti pàápàá ọmọ àgbẹ̀ ni mo rè mo professor ni mo rè lágric o ẹjọ ẹmi fúnra mi lóye o but I'm a fellow chartered accountant ṣé mo ìran ọmọ rẹ̀ á ọjọ́ nǹkan kéèdùnyàn ọ̀n fẹ́ ti ṣe oko kí n bá lọ sí for example lé ọ̀dá prof mọ̀ mo kò lè ìjọka mo yà á ra oko sí ọ̀dá díẹ̀díẹ̀ kó bá ti lè pín ogún àbáríyan títà ní àtàgàgàtú títà àrẹ agun ọ̀kadà lígboro the thing is powerful ọ̀hún yẹn ló yẹ kí n lọ sí but because of youth empowerment ló jẹ́ kí n wá síbí tí mo dẹ̀ ti ní knowledge ní fàdámà so that irú wa lè ó nídìí kí wọ́n train àwọn ọmọ ká kọ́ at least bó jẹ́ jẹ́ oko ìgbé kan lọ sóko kàn bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀ ká ṣe like irú àwọn mo ṣe treasurer Akure student union bó jẹ́ àwọn student union Akure ká pè wọ́n ká bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀ pé ìtì ọ̀fọ̀ kábàárẹ̀ tí ìkú gan kọ́ tá a bá wọn adúlẹ̀ oko àtẹ̀tá the thing is bad tẹ́ bá lọ sí ọ̀dà báyìí di almost 60 to 70% of the land there àgàtú ní o àgàtú ní o àjòkó sí gbòòrò.
Owning a bank so that we structure our capital. Ẹni tó bá ní 1 billion kó gbé wá is a shareholder. Is not a level of ipe ká pe orúkọ ẹ̀ máa wà níwèé ipe you are a shareholder of the bank. Ẹni tó bá sọ pé 100 million this is the number of shares and then there are dividends from what the bank is going to be doing from all of the things that we have to do. So, I think solely for commercial users. Ṣebí tó yẹ pé serious company tí kò ń jẹ́ pé Nigeria kàn jẹ́ kí la need solar fún. The places where they need solar in developed countries is probably you are going for camping. Because my friend in Canada once mentioned pé wọ́n need generator, mo ní kí lè fi generator ṣe. Only there are some places where you get to, maybe you want to go on camping in all of.
Add to these reports. All report that we have here is not new to many people who have traveled. But it will be more profitable for us, for our gathering, that we have innovations, ideas, that will kind of elevate our culture, our tradition, and our environment, and the materials that are domiciled here. I think we understand what I'm trying to say. So I just want to redirect our thinking so that it won't just be that we are talking. We want to add value to this document such that in the next 20 years, it will be different from those developments that we have witnessed or that are existing even in Europe and America. Do you understand that? Thank you very much. So can we have some questions?
Yes, madam.
My name is Dr. Fumi Olajide Williams from University of Ibadan. Olajide Williams. Olajide Williams is a compound name. So there are two things that I want to ask as a question. Number one is, when we are talking about mega city, we need to talk about even the palace. Okay. Thank you. Okay. I said when we are talking about mega cities, we should start from home. And when I'm talking about home, I'm talking about the palace. every year when I come to Akure, I look at our palace, and I think I've visited some palaces, and I know that that is not befitting for our king. It should start from home. Then another thing, sir, is about, I mean, when you talk about mega cities, I term it as a community. And when you're talking about community, in outside there, they have community life. So are we thinking about that? Because we'll be thinking about maybe having houses, this. Are we thinking about having a community library to showcase our culture, our tradition, and intellectual properties? Do we have that stuff? I thank you, sir. Because about 2 years ago, when we came for Ilefuta, as we're moving on, I think I was asked to write a proposal concerning having a library at the palace. And I could remember that I told Kabiyesi then that if you want to have a library, I'm not thinking about this library where you put all these started books. No, not archives. You are even talking about archives. I told him that we will have compartments, virtual library. About all this tradition that is going into extinction, we have them in digital formats. In a nation, even when people come, that will be a tourist center. But it was as if Omoye Kere ló ń sọ̀rọ̀. And by the time I look at the elderly people that happened to be the chairman, and I was asked to write the proposal, I defended the proposal. I could remember that day when I was defending the proposal, that a man came, he traveled down, and he came to greet Kabiyesi. At the end of the day, that man donated about 500,000 that day. I said we are going to raise funds. I'm not asking Kabiyesi to be or any other person. But we could raise funds, even from diaspora and everything. People will come to do it. And what I'm talking about is, you might not see it the way I'm seeing it. But people will come from outside. Okay, these children were in abroad. Anything about our culture? Our culture is going into extinction. Let us have this thing. Let us, the Egungun festival and everything. I said, Kabiyesi, I am ready to work. But it was as if they are not seeing the vision. But we are talking about mega city now. Mega city, there was a year I went to Singapore, National Library in Singapore. There was a pillar, very tall and big. Around that pillar, they have like digital stuff. That when you want to, okay, you look at it, okay, this is about Professor Pella. Okay, what is about Professor Pella? Put your coin. It's generating money every minute to that community. They'll put their money. At the end of the day, it will tell you about that particular thing. I said, if we can just do this thing, I thank God that this kind of forum that we are having it now, if we could have some and mass, our tradition will still come back, and we'll be able, our children will be able to learn so many things. We are talking about coming together now. Yes, if we could come together we'll stand, but divided we fall. If you have this vision, if you could not come together to say, okay, let us do it, it is actualizable. I think that but things are happening over there. Let us come together and do something tangible. I pray that I'll be able to penetrate on those state government. I said something about when we have our libraries in schools, primary school and everything, children are not reading. Children are not, you give them, do you cultivate that habit for them even to be reading? No. That is the main reason I said, let me come out as a professional to tell us, when we are talking about mega city, let us have a community library where we'll be able to showcase our tradition, our culture, and everything. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Let us know. Let's clap together. Let's clap for that woman for that presentation. Let me just quickly mention this. we made a pause so that you can actually make your contribution on subject addressed. The area we just mentioned, that's the area of Akure culture and tourism. Is maybe at all. We have not even got there. And then, Bobo Kote mentioned Pata, even more, all there. And we thank God we've noted that. Please, the area that we mentioned, the area that they can address, so that by the time we are taken to the next subject again, we address that. Is that clear?
Everybody arigo yibo. Ìjà sọ èdè ni. Torí ìjà sọ. No. Question kì mọ́ mi bèrè. Mo sọ kì.
Absolutely.
I'm able to say that somebody like me, when the issue of Akara business was mentioned and the social media was
agog
with criticism, I hung Akara in the street of Akure, and I'm able to say that myself and my mom, all that I am today is as a result of an Akara.
Akara, you know.
We did not have the facilities that we had. I remember Alakotas. Myself and Tony Ala. His mother was selling eko and akara. My mother was selling akara and bread. But we were friends. So we negotiated within ourselves that when it be akara yire, you know, and that's the synergy. That's the synergy we.
It's not.
That's the synergy that we had at that time, and I'm talking of about 45, 50 years ago. And now, when somebody now says, oh, Akara business, and they now turn it into another thing. I remember that even on the social media, as the criticism was going on, some people are now coming out. I saw Lekki Akara. There is a Lekki Akara where the whole place was fitted with ACs, and you have laptops and everything, and people working in the place. You cannot even see where the akara was being fried. You only see the environment where you buy. You know, so I mean, we are always averse to issues when in a civilian regime, when it is mentioned, especially by a top-placed Nigerian. We are quick to criticize, but we don't look at what is the person talking about. As at the time the woman was, the first lady was talking about Akara, she was not talking to the airlights. She was not talking to the people on the social media. She was talking to peasant market women that if you get, at that time, my mother and myself were taking the Akara beans, the beans on credit. We were taking the Ororo on credit. Ayagba, even Igi, Ayagba line more. Well, for Keteria can criticize the lorry in the Ketala Nubel. Come ticket how little.
Thank you very much, sir.
My name is Sido Tetubi. I am a chartered accountant, former chairman of the old Akure local government, and the former commissioner in Ondo State, commissioner for natural resources.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Good to have you, sir. Yeah, I'm sure we'll have a lot of deliberations. All of these things are going to be deliberations when we have it. So this is not a saturated Lagos market. First movers have real room to lead, and we need to move first. Move fast. And then we can partner locally. How to succeed? Partner locally, relations with suppliers and regulators, build in resilience, design for the power to go out, and rules to have potholes. All of those things. So what the government can do, of course, we are not relying on the government. I think what we'll be doing right now is we're doing it, and if we need the input of the government, making sure that we run it through them. If there is, of course, there will be a need, but to be that we now run it through them, not we driving it through them. You understand? So, call to action.
àti machine pé ká máa wọn ilẹ̀ à ń look forward ní even ìbàjẹ́ kọ́dọ̀là ọlọ́run gọ́fọ̀ tó jẹ́ ọmọ Borno State kan ní ẹ̀mọ́ró situation tó lè múrò yẹn wá kó débí tó bá ẹjọ́ ẹ cooperate pẹ̀lú mi o ẹ ṣe o okay o a cooperate pẹ̀lú ẹ o ṣùgbọ́n gbà. So essence document nìyẹn kó ti wà ńlẹ̀ kì í ṣe pé àyè máa fọ yún rí pé kí là ní kọ̀wé ní í ṣe fún wa. So but èyí tó wà paramount jù ni pé tọ́lọ́n bá lè ṣe é kí ìjọ ni àbárẹ̀ ayọ̀ fa ìtúrẹ̀ àwé èyí sùn kọ́ fọ́lùwẹ̀rẹ̀ ọ̀yà abẹ́ta and at a time gbogbo nǹkan tó wà bí ẹ̀sán yóò parí ẹ̀ lọ́dún mẹ́jọ kọ́kọ́ jẹun lánàá kété resources Ondo State sí so a ṣe ika yóò ṣe olómi nǹkan dé bọ̀ àwé káàbọ̀ ṣùgbọ́n our support rẹ ọlọ́run ṣe we have the numerical strength to negotiate anything we want.
Yeah, sorry, the first suggestion I'd like to make, liquid for Onibate Asoro in Jafulasi Kukamusoro. Number 2, Kakon highlight to Kababe suggest. Number 2, my first suggestion or rail and this other stuff that we should also consider incorporating the DON document. Development agenda for Western is very important. So as we are looking internally, Kademo, Uru is involved for Elisa the terminal point. But something was telling me for Oyo Koja Bedik Baroke. So Kaba Monke done can propose integratively. You know. Number 3, in Soro Lepa Be Okada, many buses. I'm happy that it's mentioned here. But I want us to also expand that for other developmental initiatives from agriculture, from other things. We also mop up people from the street. Because it's good. Beautiful presentation. But visit document so that whoever is not there would be able to note. Pay for our displacement in Iran, if I cause now, Kobaya ni all right group can did for en fait beji jelen learn rake for leo mo wili korajo for on the fact taleka kuton number 4 only daddy from my mouth. We can always negotiate this document with successive governments beyond our own child being the governor. Number 5 in Joe. So I'm not an engineer, but ideal. The moment run life me. I also want this document. Need time frame. Consider the fact that development is not static. But I have 50 years I propose for your document. Your but 10 years so. I want us to be able to say this will last so period. In talking about the modern city, sir, Mofe plead a smart city. You know that has always been my idea for the past 15 years. You know that is why it's not going away very quickly. So, smart city. What do we do to existing city? Rosa. I'm going somewhere. No, I'm talking specifically about creating more green environment. Oceanilano, few meters away, Waju government house, green park in Oju another concurrency, Kobaya Amo Kefa cancer. We must deliberately create new parks and protect them. Government, I won't be surprised. Come back the cook in it. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, sir. My name is Akinwale Abidaku. I don't want to say much, but first and foremost, I want to thank God for the life of and the ingenuity of our Deji for bringing this together. I must confess that this has been one of the things that has been eating up in my heart for a long time. I'm the CEO of Blue Mart Realty Limited. I'm into real estate. My company is in Lagos, and recently I just acquired some land. I'm developing an estate at Akpomu. I have an office in Akure here, and I'm from Akure here. And anytime I come home, I meet with KBAC. I always discuss this with him, that KBAC, what are we going to do to bring ourselves together? And I'm so happy that this is taking place in our lifetime. Sir, I must thank you for the guidance, for the sacrifice, and for your time. I pray that this is a legacy that you are trying to leave, and I pray that it will be a good legacy for all of us. My interest is on the smart city. I don't want this summit to be like that of Ondo State Investment Summit. Early in the year, I was there, and I met with the governor. And all the things that we discussed, no problem, we'll do it, no problem. I speak to you now, nothing has been done about it. And that's for the entire state. Now, this is Akure, that we speak the same language and we have the same culture and values. So my plea, sir, is that as we're doing all of this, I want action. I just don't want this to be swept under the table. Action, sir. Bullet point. Time frame, like my other brother said. And lastly, sir, as we're doing all of this, let's factor in indigenous entrepreneurs too, the role they can play. It is very, very important. I live in Lagos. I have everything in Lagos. But I just thought that, look, what can I contribute to my town? And I decided to come and acquire land, and I have my staff over there, right? Anytime I come into Akure, I'm always happy that, look, one way contributing something to the town. So, sir, as we're developing this game,
Bao kinini on. Okay, thank you very much, sir. Okay, noted. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. I joined a very question. Ensure you have access to the microphone before you. In addition to that, the jerry can of low must not touch the ground, or must not touch the wall. Then the place must be hairy, and then you must fumigate the. In fact, Coco, Dr. Awolumate, processing facility ne express. Coco have a bunch of fumigation, Coco stone. Baka Paris fumigation. In fact, Baka, all we need was to buy phosphosin. Because I spray direct spray to of any insecticide. We just used phosphosin. Cover the whole cocoa bags and make sure that lay your pathway at you phosphosin in no envelope so that we can recover it back. Because phosphine gas lay phosphosin low to kill all because the joketa kaya shi ekuka kolebe laye aba for ye iso eku je cocoa aba àṣeyàn ọmọ rẹ̀ lè jù mọ̀ pé eku jẹ kòkó rẹ̀ to that extent ṣé mo fọ kéèyàn bá ní nǹkan at times ẹ̀yà ọkùnrin ká bá ké ó síbì kan báyìí ẹ̀yà kà sábà máa ń ké ó síbì kan kí ìyàwó rẹ̀ kàn mú lébẹ̀ kó bá jẹ́ ọkọ̀ pọ̀ ní àyọ̀ tètè mọ̀ torí obìnrin kan ṣèbí àjọ níní so ẹ̀ mọ̀ so there are so many So, but in this tree crop thing, because cocoa and oil palm nukone, there's a need to woo more investors into the various aspects of the value chain. Production new, processing new. Okay, we will still get there. I'm not the chairman of the Agri-Technical Committee. Babawa Shifadejo is the chairman. In fact, my friend was telling me certain things about him, Baba. So to even go to farming, to farm becomes a bit difficult. But Allah Rabba Ashe very soon. If many of these recommendations can be implemented, wallahi, we will be there. One day we will be there. You are welcome, sir. Omolade is a big time farmer. Security wise. In your laborers.
Yes, sir. Nípa ọ̀rọ̀ security máa lè brief there because ó kàn mí gbọ̀ngbọ̀n adé ìwà lẹ́nu ẹ̀. Even precisely January 29 last year ní Àbàmì ní power line bandit pa àwọn ọmọọṣẹ́ mi márùn-ún. Luckily we have 42 workers there. Bẹ́ẹ̀ márùn-ún tán bá ní camp náà pa. Eléyìí kan tí ìbọn bà gan tó sá lọ sínú kòkó wọn lé ìṣẹ̀ kan kú yìnbọn pa wọn la orí ẹ̀ sí méjì. One then two if ìlú Àbòmbí mo ní àgbàdo síbẹ̀ lọ́dún yìí 7.4 hectares. Àwọn tó iṣẹ́ ń bẹ̀ wọ́n kidnap ní Kájọlà wọ́n fi obìnrin ọkọ àti ìyàwó gbà ní àgbàdo òun. Àwọn tó ń tu ẹ̀fọ́ nínú ìsàlẹ̀ oko àgbàdo yẹn àwọn Fúlàní kan borí bolẹ̀ 6.5 million náà fi gbà wọ́n yẹn. Àgbàdo wa yẹn ó wá gbó tó fọ táwọn obìnrin tó fẹ́ lọ ra àgbàdo kan lásán tó má ti ń lọ tó má ti bọ́ pé ìlú àbùnà tó fẹ́ lọ ra àgbàdo wọn lọ́mọ́ so àgbàdo wọn àmì báyìí ó gbẹ òjò dẹ̀ ń rọ̀ á wù a lot of disadvantage even precisely àwọn méje tán kó tí wọ́n mú ní Ìlàdó ọ̀dọ̀ power line lọ́dọ̀ wọn náà ti gbà wọ́n lé Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn àti hunters wa so sir máa fi àkókò yìí rọ committee a ṣe é ṣe fún wa o ṣe ọ̀rọ̀ security nù kan ká gbọ́dọ̀ kó ìjọba ká má yọ̀ ránṣẹ́ sí àwọn kábíyèsí olúria àwọn láti padà reunite because ká bá o nǹkan ṣẹlẹ̀ gangan ìyọ̀n local area they are more stronger than this police and Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn pẹ̀lú experience kan ní for illustration.
We'll still get that, sir. Security issue, because there are generic issues that we have recommendations here on. One of which is security. But we cannot discourage investors in these areas. To the economic development of our kingdom, we cannot run away from tree crop development. Chief Adejo, I'm sorry, sir. Chief Adejo, who is our chairman, Ogba soldiers, Sioko, these people killed soldiers. On the pan, 2 soldiers on his farm. It's as terrible as that.
Nípa ti security yẹn ni mo fẹ́ nípa ti security ni mo fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ bá ṣe rí kinní kan máa ń ṣẹlẹ̀ tí ó máa ń jẹ́ kí tó ń fún àwọn ní power because lóko tèmi ní Àtẹ́ológún 2 times ní àwọn ọlọ́pàá máa ń wá bẹ̀ táwọn search wọn ní àwọn kan ní bárẹ̀ àwọn kan ní so from there kálukú lose hope wọn kì í gbé sí àbàmọ́ so táwọn yẹn bá ti dé wọn kàn ká èèyàn má bà àti ń sọ kínní àti ń sọ kínní tipẹ́ but àwọn ọlọ́pàá wọ́n á wá sóko yẹn wọ́n á ní ẹni báyìí wọ́n á ṣàṣì pé ẹni báyìí ó ní bárẹ̀ ẹni báyìí ó ní kinní kan wọ́n ní fọ́màtì síbẹ̀ náà ni o so kálukú á wá gbé ìbọn tán ní wọ́n á kìpù ẹ̀ sínú oko káàkiri so táwọn yẹn bá ti dábàá there is nothing they can use to defend themselves. So ìyẹn gangan ni mo fẹ́ kí committee kan bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí, because kò sí ẹni tó yẹ kó máa gbé nínú igbó kó wà nínú igbó kó máa ní nǹkan tá a máa fi ṣọ́ra o. So ìyẹn ni kókó. Then ìkejì sà, àwọn tí ó jẹ́ tá ń lò fún security a lè lo ọlọ́pàá, àwọn àmọ̀tẹ́kùn bíi àwọn tọ́ṣẹ̀ local something tọ́ṣẹ̀ hunter tán vigilante la lè lò, tá a bá ní ká lo àwọn yẹn kò lè work.
a lè lo ọlọ́pàá, Olúwa ràn wá lọ́wọ́ sà. irọ́ àyìnbọ̀ ní security issue because of our time. ṣé ń gbọ́, by the time we finish the issue of state police sir, wọ́n ṣe é lò. Secondly, 2 wrongs does not make a right. Ẹni bá fẹ́ níbọn, you must license your gun. Once you license your gun, ó tán. But èèyàn rẹ̀ aláìka kan ti corner. How can you have a gun without a license? It's dangerous. It's not good. We will be there, sir. Then, our gun, we have recommended rehabilitation.
And then the thing now is this. I want us to look at this holistically. I want to fight and come. They have legal right to sell their property. They have that legal right to sell their property. And then, that's why I'm saying this thing in Yoruba clearly. So that one they fear. But as they are doing that, they is affecting the future of this land heavily. Heavily. On the free book, àwọn ilé tó wà ní àràkálẹ̀ yẹn all true. Not all àràkálẹ̀ wẹ̀ lọ́sẹ̀jọ́ mu. Mo ti gbọ́ ìkan láàárọ̀ yìí. Ilé ìwé àwọn pèrè wa kan méjèèjì tó rà náà ti tà. Wọ́n ti tà. Upstairs ńlá wọ́n ti tà. Wọ́n nígbà tí ìjà yẹn lágbára jù tó kò ṣeé parí láàrin àwọn ẹbí. Nani kí náà fẹ́ para wọn sí? Àwọn kúkú gbélé tà náà kọ́ pín wẹ̀. And then Igbo náà ló rà. And then apart from Igbo, there are some other people as well. They are also buying those things. Kì í ṣe Igbo nìkan. Àtẹ Fúlàní Igbo náà wọ́n penetrate wọlé. Maybe buying those things in a prosy way. But this is a thing that can only happen in Abia. But gbọ́ kan lánàá pé ẹni tó wà ní Enugu ọmọ òwe kò lè ralẹ̀ sí Abia kó kọ́ pé wọ́n nígbà for the fact pé both of them are Igbo. Wọ́n ò gbà wọ́n ní tó bá rà wọ́n ní tó bá rà kó san owó ẹ̀ gbogbo kò ní kọ́ níbi títí wọ́n burú tó. Though èmi mention pé bóyá ṣe làwọn yẹn búra náà lọ kún wọn búra, which you cannot do here. But what angle ni a lè lò? We need to sensitize our people. My brother has already mentioned one in the area of leasehold. Okay, if we sensitize our people, in the property he have mentioned it in his message. Property and to show interest, no problem. But this is what you want there. We will give this property probably for the next 25 years or 50 years. After so number of years, it will be very easy to transfer back because the name is registered there. It's registered there. So, but what are the other variables? But we are still on that point because we are passing this message straight to the Central Committee, and then other were documented. What therefore we should go and discuss it and have a decision. That's why I quickly make it open. Let's just address this aspect. Almighty God will help us in Jesus' name. So the other views they about share so that we can actually pen all this thing down. Yes.
No, on this issue, sir. No, he has given us how to solve this problem. Yes. What are the problems attached to it? Because here we are talking. Sorry.
Yeah, nǹkan try láti sọ ni pé ilé kan tà ẹ́ culturally a ní problem ilé iye mi ilé àbá mi ìjà kọ́kọ́ rò ní then 2 láti lè kẹta ẹsẹ̀ anybody kéde yàrá pẹ̀sìkò fẹ́ ṣe bẹ̀ náà pípọ̀ ìsàlẹ̀ ṣọ́ọ̀bù kan fún mi ọ̀run nílò òun náà ṣe wàhálà dé ìyẹn ọmọ gan kan jogún léwu ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ríyan lílé kéèsì líbẹ̀ náà ń yà á pé ó lẹ́hún Ìbàdàn kó yà á máa tó lé àbá ṣe ọ̀nà ìlára yẹn kégbélé àbá ọ̀hún kọjá pé fọ ọkùnrin ẹ̀ka àtó fọ àǹtí mi nílùú òyìnbó iná ránṣẹ́ ká mú túlé ṣe all these problems ìjà o báwo tí yóò ṣeé ṣe pé mo fẹ́ talé mo fẹ́ talẹ̀ mẹ́sàn èyí sọ̀rọ̀ àtàwọn solution kà á mú sílẹ̀ èmi bring about problem I created problem that may likely so that àmọ́ nǹkan á mú discuss rẹ̀ báwo la ṣe àṣe mo fẹ́ ta ṣé kábíyèsí ọ̀fọ̀ wẹ́ẹ̀ la ṣe àti ta mo fẹ́ talẹ̀ mi abu abami kan fọ mẹ́yọ̀ ọ̀tá mẹ́ra wọ̀ kí shut up pé ṣèbí abami lílu lẹ́ẹ̀ ṣàbárẹ́ báwo la ṣe yóò sọ fúru problem ni so that a yóò mú Olúwa ràn wá lọ́wọ́ ok rọ ìjọsà afẹ́ fúnra rẹ̀ alẹ́ nọ́mbà ẹ̀tọ́ ìdílé ni o number 1 number 2 number 3 number 4 number 5 number 6 number 7 number 8 8 ni o number 1 sir ó ti tán number 8.
mo kí kété Àkúrẹ́ ń ṣe o ìjọ mo kí kété Àkúrẹ́ ń ṣe orúkọ tèmi ni Honorable Akin Akọ́ṣílẹ̀ from Ọ̀dà kété ọ̀rọ̀ kẹ́ntẹ́ sọ líbí látàárọ̀ Ọ̀dà mo lọ sí France débẹ̀ mi try láti sọ òyìnbó sí ṣe wọ́n bí pé wọ́n gbọ́ o but they won't speak it wọ́n fẹ́ kẹ́ kàn yóò sọ èdè náà so kẹ́ntẹ́ fọ ká sọ English nínú ẹ̀tì jẹ́ àfilẹ̀ bá kẹ́ntẹ́ àfalọ́ ọ̀nà òlé lọ́mọ ẹran kó tẹ àyàgbé yìí o èyí ní dúró síbẹ̀ so lépa fọ talẹ̀ ulé àbárin ṣe everything bí prof ṣe sọ lẹ́sìn ẹ̀ sọ ni kèèyàn yóò blame the whole Broad Street lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ìyẹn èèyàn kan lé níbẹ̀ kàn kọ́ skyscraper sí ni but on reach agreement pẹ̀lú riyan for okay 100 years now múlò lẹ́ni that is what we call lease kan lease rẹ̀ kọ́bá ìṣe ni la fẹ́ enlighten èèyàn rẹ̀ ya fún ìnítẹ̀dá ṣùgbọ́n fọ kú lẹ́kàn mélòó ni ọmọ kan fẹ́ rẹ́dí àti tú lé àràkálẹ̀ níṣe go to Imo State kì í sọ ẹ́ I work with one of the oil services ní Kuta gas plant Òwèrìlé kìnní Modo Hotel lówèrè la dúró sí a máa ń ṣeré jáde nírọ̀lẹ́ go to Wedra Road go to Royce Road lówèrè ìyẹn àrífọ̀ yẹn wọ́n lé jákàjàkà yẹn lé àtijọ́ lẹ́lẹ́wẹ̀ ok irú àràkálẹ̀ kan ń kọ́lé sí Àkúrẹ́ náà pé àbí wọn pé lẹ́nugun ìbá ṣe ṣínà ìdúlé ní Àkúrẹ́ lẹ́yà kọ́ba ti tó táìmù àjíwé ọ̀nà ọmọ Ìgbò ulé kan ní sí Port Harcourt ulé kan kọ́ sí Port Harcourt before ogun ulé kan kọ́ sí Port Harcourt lé kan ọmọ àwọn pé bẹ̀ lé Lagos.
I mean, when I was at Tijare, Bola Kwebe, change orúkọ Arárọ̀mí now. Arárọ̀mí, then down Koye on Ligbabeja, the Siju Abi Tagbolu, Legbe Secondary School ni. Koje for Koma Asaka ye no only cut across out. So if we can get a place in that place, so if we senators of no, Akure not lene, Akure South lene, Ifedore lene. I know there is a place like that. So all we need to do is to go to the Minister urban and physical planning thank God ọmọlẹ́ náà lè lébẹ̀ ká fọkàn bá o physical survey area ni then kan ké sí chairman Akure North kan ké sí chairman Akure South kan ké sí chairman Ìfẹ́dọ̀rẹ́ kí irú ọ̀gá àbárẹ́ akábíyèsí kọ́ for one champion rẹ̀ so that because problem kà máa ní lè for kọ́ bá ti dé level for afẹ́ ṣeun a máa ní this suspicion for wíìlà ilé in charge bùnmínìlẹ̀ ọgbọ́n lé dání you know that is the problem tá a máa ní each time ẹ̀yà kà á criticize in those days léègbé ká fọ́ọ̀mù Oyemekun club 80 ìyàlẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ Akure day kárí mú ṣe lẹ́fúta àti Oyemekun day Oyemekun club 80 ní lóògbé was a vision ká ní for I was in the university at that time pé kó bá dijọ́ wájú ìyá ọgbẹ́ ẹni ká ké for early youth of today the leaders of tomorrow ìyá àbáwọn yín ṣe dáadáa I discovered over time with evolution with time passage that those of us that were youth at that time that are now babas we have transversed all those stages we did not do better than what those baba we were criticizing then do and the people that are coming behind us I'm sorry I'm pointing at you are more terrible in terms of the you know when we are putting up this paper, you asked Tokwe, got a point that some of us gone for you ṣe láì jẹ́ fún bóyá mo yóò sílẹ̀ ọ̀gá yẹn sọ fún mi báyìí fọ kàtí mi ó sílẹ̀ kó wọn bá kan Àkúrẹ́ àtòǹdó oore ọ̀fẹ́ là ní kàmú gba capital o oore ọ̀fẹ́ torí irú èmi mo máa describe ara ma fọ mẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ọmọ Àkúrẹ́ lásán àmà ní Àkúrẹ́ pikin irú ni báyìí yóò jẹ́ Àkúrẹ́ child Àkúrẹ́ kid. That's my kid. That's my son. But Akure Pikin, I'm solo. So I grew up here. I know how things have been moving, and then when I look at what is happening in other towns of similar status, if an ONDO man comes that he wants to be governor, for example, you discover that every other ONDO, they'll come down. There was a time, I'm sorry, I'm sure they will have raised it. I'm sorry I couldn't make it yesterday because I was out.
In that you're a tractor. The logo match should not run it. Civil servant, the logo match should not run it. You're talking about the belly or civil servant for run. Came off for dead end in the day. I was a civil servant, but there are certain things I don't support. Mama so civil servant gba mele lẹ́nu iṣẹ́. In fúnra ni àpárá in fúnra ni àṣekè in àpárá ni. Lùgbà kí n bá ti jíun ìjọba tán in àjí ara rin pẹ̀lú kì í jí. Ṣé ọ̀jẹ̀ ara rin ọmọ báyìí? Ṣé ọ̀jẹ̀ ara rin ọmọ báyìí? When the government does not give you a job to do, kàn fún ọ lé o. Can release anything. Can government there run? Kí ìjọba sọ fún ọ that you are irrelevant. So why not try to do something to make yourself relevant? Ìjọ kan mo sọ fún yàn sí àgbà mi lọ́jọ́ mi. Ìjọ kan bọ̀ ká béèrè lọ́rẹ̀ pé what did you do this month to justify your salary? Wọ́n fún mi lé òṣìṣẹ́, wọ́n fún mi lé òṣìṣẹ́, wọ́n fún mi lé òṣìṣẹ́, wọ́n fún ọ lé òṣìṣẹ́, wọ́n dẹ̀ gba salary. Abi? So why not look for something to do? Only the support for civil servant and everything. We can collaborate. We can collaborate. BIR sir. Bó ṣe burú tó yan civil servant kan ti àkọlé for no. Ọ̀gá náà rẹ̀ ògbà mo retire tán. Mo rí certain things. Bọ̀bọ̀ kan lé bọ̀bọ̀ Akande lórúkọ rẹ̀ early pension board Ondo State pension board the way he's doing his job bèrè èèyàn kan tí àjòkólé fàìlì rẹ̀ kíákíá ti mo rò ó pé ṣé civil servant náà lé àwọ̀ yìí we still have people who can be trusted to do many things so on production we have made some recommendations On processing and value addition, lin cassava is partnership. Motosolism, when we go to China, when we go to Thailand, nko ṣẹlẹ̀, nkìjọba ìran mẹ́wòrì wọn ṣe lọ́hùn. Ṣùgbọ́n ọ̀nà ìrọ̀nù rẹ̀ ìgbẹ́ náà pé ìyọ̀rá kò lé orú ọ̀gá afẹ́mẹ́sẹ̀ àwé gbé wá jájọ partner to run this factory. And those factories were being run. Subsidy. We have to subsidize inputs. In fact, there was a year the government of United States, look back USCT, distributes maize, grain, all over the world. To distribute maize grain all over the world, produced by their farmers. They took the maize, they bought the maize from their farmers. I remember they bought all the maize grains produced from their farmers. So yeah, it's serious. You know,
okay, sir.
Thank you, Eshe. Actually, no. Yeah, actually, no. Àti débi tí mo tún ní view lórí ẹ̀ ló ṣe jẹ́ kí n raise hand mi. Nígbà tí dáàdi mention àwọn ilé ní pé wọ́n ó ní fọ́tò kankan báyìí. Mo wá rò pé kí ló dé fi create camp. Camp, what I mean by camp is compound. Fáwọn ààyè kankan. Then compound yẹn ó ti máa ní àwọn tó yẹ pé wọ́n spearhead ẹ̀ tó bá tẹ̀lé anybody outside tó fẹ́ lease area àbíbẹ̀ yẹn láti kọ́lé síbẹ̀. So ẹni yẹn máa ṣàlàyé fẹ́ni tó fẹ́ lease yẹn a lè ní better understanding like for instance irú èmi báyìí sìn tó bá sọ pé tó bá ń dárúkọ àwọn àyè kan ní Àkúrẹ́ máa wò pé ibo níbẹ̀ Ẹ̀rẹ̀kẹ̀sán Ìjọ̀mú so we should try to create camp. Ṣe bí mi ṣe mọ̀ fún mi ègbè olúlé. Thank you.
Ẹ ṣé gan ni sà, orúkọ mi ni Mrs. Adesina Bọ́lálé. Ẹ ṣé gan ni kí n ṣe sọ̀rọ̀ ni sà oró kìlọ̀ ọkàn mi ni torí ó ṣẹlẹ̀ sí à lẹ́nu ọjọ́ mẹ́ta ilé èyí àbá mi líru òkè mẹ́sàn-án lè sin ni mi. So ilé èyí àbá mi ni àti plan àti ta already.
Líṣe oko mélòó líṣe dé láì there are provisions, there are funds, but the fund will not be released. Dábàá àgbẹ̀ mélòó ló yóò grade ọ̀nà fúnra rẹ̀. But we need these partnerships, sir, that we cannot run away from it. Yomori Akon, the kingdom. By the time we do what Ogake Oluwaladeso is here, to form an agri committee at the local, in each of the communities, and they relate more Yomori Akoja for Kolorun Shefun to help them do so many things. Ayé àtijọ́, ìmọ̀ kan pẹ̀lú maize crib. Community mélòó ni ti rí maize crib of recent. Share money. Storage of maize becomes so difficult. So many infrastructural deficits that we have to address. And Kamamo address it, production will continue to have problem. Warehouses, storage facilities, and so on and so forth. Then on policy, like I said, kéèyàn bá fẹ́ ṣeun láyé, kéèyàn bá fẹ́ sìnkú àbárẹ̀, ṣé ẹni draw budget ni? Àbí? You need to plan. Planning starts from policy development. Esun can stop local government or the incoming Akure Central Olúwadé Àfọ̀nṣe kìíní as Akure Central what's it called now? the 5th committee, Ọlọ́run á fún wọn ṣe. Akure central government. Akure central government that will encompass all the 3 local governments. Most of these recommendations will become much more easier to implement. But once the each local government is given full autonomy now, it's possible. It's possible. Because once the local governments are given full autonomy, and the access CEO without they have been given actually governance agree not and láti mention for local government for local government autonomy, but there is still a provision in the constitution, the joint allocation committee. Kabamo remove from the constitution. There's nothing like full local government autonomy. However, state government láti bá wọn share orin yan. Each local government should go to their account directly.
But then the way things are now, sir, more for war or federal level be author by creation whatever by local government boundary adjustment I belong to I bear come. Yes, sir, came out about only about me yemi by quite la lebeni egbara okay on libel kabaswa to alabai la rati libekete. Today, sir, about me koko jolujoka she be baleni oya odi olu. Today, sir, but by other kere until they ade, but ni okay at more. Ṣùgbọ́n ká ṣe kéré ká kóra jọ ká jẹ́ ọ̀kan. Sir, ma ibi tí mo lọ nìyẹn. Èsì wọ̀ bóyá for I'm from federal, I'm from Kenya. What we are saying is that Akure-Speaking, before we arrive, even only committee that go for dàrú láàrin kan. Okay, ìjà àwọn ọkọ̀ èdè káfíń òde mẹ́rin àkàsọ kí ìṣèdè Àkúrẹ́ òun là bá lò. But Akure la kéde la sọ so only for Akure-Speaking communities. Akure South North Federal Summit. Oh yeah, you know to Guju. But then, thank you, sir. Now what we are, thank you so much, sir. But what we are doing today, and the organization concerning, about ya, Lara Kes Akure non le don re no. Esa, what I kéde, where like it la komora. Then lawsuit show. But lawsuit show what la mushe so Olorun allow. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Eshe. So that could you see discussion, separation, suspicion in next year at all. This will be the last time in our lifetime. And our children will never discuss it in Jesus' name. So that could you see the decisions we take now is what is going to make it.
Dé ronú sí rárá issue kan ṣẹlẹ̀ láàrin ọmọ Àkúrẹ́ ìyá márùn jọ jókòó síbì kan àjọ sọ̀rọ̀ lọ́lọ́ ìkànnúra dìde ó lọ yàtọ̀ ìyá mẹ́rin kò ṣẹ́kù ọ̀fọ̀ èèyàn mẹ́ta kù fọ́ síbi sọ̀rọ̀ ṣé wèrè ọ̀rẹ́ rẹ fọ̀hún bẹ́ẹ̀ líṣe ìkejì dìde ọ̀n sọ the same ọ̀rọ̀ mo rí sọ fọ́fọ́ kémi tó dìde o ọ̀rọ̀ kì bá ta sọ lẹ́yìn mi ìkùkù sọ lójú mi o. Àkúrẹ́ ni òní ṣíríkẹ́tẹ́ kàti sọ líbe báyìí lágbára ọlọ́ọ̀lọ́ àjò á sì múṣẹ́ we are still looking on to it but mo dẹ̀ ní gbàgbọ́ fọ á sì múṣẹ́ á dẹ̀ ṣojú ẹ̀mí mi á ṣojú ẹ̀mí kété ya náà ìjọ máa fẹ́ bẹ̀yìn lẹ́bẹ̀ẹ́ kan ṣírí ìdílé kò bá fẹ́ ta ilé àbáràn wọn ní right àti ta ṣùgbọ́n èyí mi má pòwe kọ̀ọ̀kì tí kú ajá àjàlá kú. On rí yà sí ajá àjàlá rí ibẹ̀ sí sunkún ìkété lórí ibẹ̀ fọ̀ sí mírẹ̀ ó ọ̀hún tì mí on rí yà bá fọ̀ kéè palẹ̀kùn gan iye ìṣàjà kokú lídùn ike ìṣòrúkọ ọ̀hún kò yà gbé ọlẹ̀ yàn fàjà àjàlá kú ìjọ tálí àbáràn ṣe borúkọ àbáràn lé ọlẹ̀ lọ́ọ̀dì ìṣeré o.
Àkúrẹ́ o akọmọláfẹ́ Tèmítọ́pẹ́ lórúkọ mi lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí ìjọ lépa tọrọ ọ̀tálẹ́ àbá
gẹ́gẹ́ bí òye mi sir àmà lẹ́fọ̀ kí family on the right no doubt about that. a fẹ́ kí a ní ọ̀ka establish a value orientation to the family and whoever that is involved is very very important sir. Láti kékeré kábàtì bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní orientate on members of the family. Orúkọ ilé òǹkùlé ní ẹ̀gbọ́dọ̀ parẹ́. Kábàtì bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní grow láti inú láti kékeré á change mentality ni ọ. No doubt issue lè kẹ́ bí bọ́dà mi ti sọ poverty not good life lè come up but key orientation bá ti sink sọ́kànrin láti kékeré kò bá yá and find means now láti survive and then two gẹ́gẹ́ bọ́n ṣe suggest tẹ́lẹ̀ it can move outrightly the name of the family can be written on the structures that will be erected on that place and there should be a modality láàrin ọ̀nìkan ta àti ọ̀nìkan ra ká pé for orúkọ olè ní orúkọ ẹbí ní àtà exist kìsà.
ẹ ṣe mà bọ̀dá ti sọ̀rọ̀ kan nípa tó máa dálé iṣẹ́ sí kí ni kó máa gba ọmọ Àkúrẹ́ àwọn tó bá máa dálé iṣẹ́ ó dẹ̀ pé ó wà òkè gan wà òkè number one tó fi wà òkè ni pé ní ibì kan wà ẹlọ́sà ẹ mọ dọ́bẹ̀ in South Africa Àtíkù ṣe mọ̀ pé ó ní factory Àtíkù bákan náà big factory in dọ́bẹ̀ in South Africa any complaint any dálé iṣẹ́ sí South Africa 80% of citizens of South Africa lákọ́kọ́ wá gba 20% so èèyàn ọmọ Nàìjíríà gan wáṣẹ́ tí wọ́n ríṣẹ́ ṣe ti gẹ́ẹ̀tì rẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wọ́n mú òfin ni for àyàn kò bá kọ́ ara list lẹ́kùn kọ́ máa ta kọ́ máa dálé iṣẹ́ kọ́ mo ní láti get granite to do something ẹnìkan wá fún mi pé kí n lọ sí ọ̀nà Ìdànrè road Chinese yẹn ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ and 2020 mi ìrìn àti yá yẹn mo ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ dé gbogbo àmọ́ ọba tó ń fọ́ òkúta ṣé mo fọ́ ó ti fọ́ òkúta ra ó ti jèrè dáadáa but irú ẹni ilé iṣẹ́ ìlú company bẹ́ẹ̀ tó bá wá ṣé àyè wà bẹ́ẹ̀ not only Ondo state now even the indigene of Akure àmọ́ mélòó ló fẹ́ gbà síṣẹ́ ó ṣe pàtàkì kan torí èèyàn youth rí àṣírí bẹ́ẹ̀ báyìí wọ́n ní pé youth wà níbí tó àgbà ọ̀rọ̀ iṣẹ́ ló bá wọn number one number two developer àǹtí mi developer ṣé àwọn ló máa wá ta ilé yẹn níṣẹ́ wọn àǹtí mi ṣé developer tẹ́ni ẹ̀ máa gbé fún àtìláṣẹ ṣé iṣẹ́ tó ń ṣe nípa máa bá yín tàbí wọ́n wá reach to agreement wọ́n bá yín kọ list yẹn ni the best tí legacy kọ lọ tún mo fi ìpè kákúkú bí a ká ní program kan lórí rédíò ní kí wọ́n máa kọ that we what do we call it that we bring a sort of education to our indigene ṣé mo àwọn wà gbogbo yẹn wà jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ wọ́n tún máa rùn pa ni torí wọ́n sọ fún wa nínú ìtàn.
You see, I mean, let me share one little story. Okay, listen. I'm sorry I couldn't make it yesterday. It's unfortunate. Sorry, local government. Just 6. I signed 6. I was chairman. By military then, by Abachane. 0 party. Mama contest. Mama went chairman. That was 30 years ago. I was very much under 40. So, le Ugbeni. Only Lara Barry Agbeon. To the glory of God, exists in by Kajovo for she Baula Kuresha, Bauli Dejisha Agbeolo Baile. Bauli Dejisha Agbeoloda. Meanwhile, Ife has 3 local governments. Kio Nife Bate Jade or Babi 40 Ateli. Ibadan Municipal Council then is now 15 local governments. The old Ibadan Municipal is now 15 local governments, whereas Ehati remain 2. Look at ward Duria look on 12 wards like Kureni, 3 wards they are Akure not. History Fedore ati unkote keloko madamuni many saw in the Turubukere North. So, but a lot of these issues, therefore, are not libe no orientation right kí ẹ ṣe change ọlọ́run dẹ̀ help rẹ̀.
nǹkan téèyàn bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ẹ̀ lèèyàn lè correct. Okay, èmi ò tiẹ̀ gbọ́ rí. I heard it for the first time on the platform tó ń ti organize it. So when I called, I was the one that asked Uncle Banji to come and do the keynote, Mr. Yiloge. So he then started giving me more insights. Mani, me take body, as old as I am. So say I want me to my money, and it will have been, I mean, woe betide us if we allow these things to extend to our children. Because I want you to tell Monkokon. So we thank God for that. So in Yeti so the next thing is to then agree. The cooperative will be set up this year. The bank will be set up this year. Either a fintech company will need central bank license, and it will still be operating. So
nǹkan dìgbà náà kí yàmúṣe tọ́mtọ́mù nǹkan kan yàmúṣe tọ́mtọ́mù so a ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ la ṣe for okay nǹkan kan gbà ùdí tẹ́ni kó ṣe mẹ́jọ ní ire ọlọ́run abáyanjú rẹ̀ kó ṣe mẹ́wàá ní tẹ́ni ọlọ́run abáyanjú rẹ̀ so the developer will commence that job so orúkọ abáni èní parẹ́ àlíbẹ̀ and that is number one. Number two, somebody like me èèyàn kó bá fọ n fẹ́ ta olé àbáwọn ó ta ọjọ́ iwájú rẹ̀ ni ó ta tán atali ni because gbà kó bá padà kó travel kó dé kó bá padà fẹ́ kọ́lé bó fẹ́ lọ sí bòmíràn ibi ká lọ sí ájù ìpínṣà lọ o ájù ìpínṣà ká lọ sí so ǹjọ́ I want to beg us even kí government kan bá ṣọ̀nà kí ilẹ̀ ń kó ku kékeré síbi kàǹtì mi yà yín kó ṣe ṣọ́ọ̀bù kékeré nǹkan lórúkọ àbárin ìjà líbẹ̀ mo bẹ̀ lórúkọ Ọlọ́run because èsì yan ìgbò kí n bá ti ta lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ nǹkan ti jẹ́ lórí rẹ̀ èsì kékeré that is number one that is number two. Number three ilẹ̀ estate wọ́n máa ń sọ for 99 years government anybody Akure-Speaking community ayọ̀ṣe anybody kan bá ta property kò ìjà for at least ẹ̀kan for 99 years. We have agreement with the royal fathers. We have lawyers among us. I know engineers. I need professional members. Come after that 99 years. Come okay. Come back. Come hand over. Yes. And ko were. And ko pada yakwa. And da pada ko yomo. And tu joko. So I want to beg us. Mo fẹ́ bẹ̀ alórúkọ Ọlọ́run. Ìmọ̀já ata ogun bíra. And ya Akure nǹkan kan máa ń ṣe á kàn bá ti fọ̀hún délẹ̀ abẹ̀ sí sásèyìn mẹ́yìn òjò dárúkọ mi orúkọ mi no ìmọ̀já sásèyìn ní kété ọ̀nà ìmọ̀já sásèyìn kàn bá ti pín ìjà súnmọ́ àjọpín ni kàn bá fẹ́ atẹ́gùn ìwọ náà fẹ́ tẹ̀rẹ́ àfọwọ́ gbìyànjú àfọwọ́ gbìyànjú and mo fẹ́ bẹ̀ alẹ́bẹ̀ kan ìjọ torí Ọlọ́run group yìí ìjà túbọ̀ mú lógiri bá a ṣe mú báyìí movement yìí plan ká ní sílẹ̀ báyìí èyí ṣe plan next year o it is 20 years plan above keteria it is enter everybody so it is over 20 years plan with the 20 years plan so ara lọ́rùn àná ọmọ Àkúrẹ́ kó bá ti dá léṣẹ́ sílẹ̀ àbí kó bá nù ké wá ìjọ bó ṣe Ìfẹ́dọ̀rẹ́ bó ṣe Àkúrẹ́ north bó ṣe Àkúrẹ́ south ìjà bá wa o bọ̀dá ní bá wa kú o ká bá wa ire so ire náà yóò jẹ́ tẹ́ríà ọ̀rọ̀ kí sísá sọ nísìn fọ̀yàn kó bá ti dá iléeṣẹ́ lẹ̀ lùí fọ̀kan agbọmọ Àkúrẹ́ mo fẹ́ ṣàdẹ̀ sample kan ìgbà ká ṣe àràkálẹ̀ lọ yangbò kè láàrin ya I'm sorry kó bá lẹ́ni ìbò kè líbe ọ̀ya bá mi láàrin ọ̀lìgbà ń láàrin ọ̀ya bá mi for Sami building for money láti wo for kimi no me sọ yìí for ó jára ríà
for Ilela, for Sami building, for Monilati wo, mo di bere for why? Because Sheke Rogbe John Kokulo. I now told them, one for Sami Yoruba ni, apart from Akure Yoruba náà lèmi fúnra mi. Kún bá wọlé Sami, yan ọmọ Akure kè jẹ níbẹ̀, yan Yorùbá kè jẹ níbẹ̀. Ṣé and yóò padà yari jẹ? No, kọ̀ọ̀kan gbàgbé aya rẹ̀. Ṣé and yóò padà ya benefit níbẹ̀? Ǹjọ́ mo bẹ̀ á lórúkọ Ọlọ́run, ǹjẹ́ àdúró tìraria, ìmọ̀já mójú ara rẹ̀ agbolẹ̀, lóde, kábàtì ra lókè òkun, a máa ń dá sí aria, bọ̀ kábàtì lúlé, àrídọ̀tà aria, Àkúrẹ́ àgbẹ̀ á o, àní ní wàhálà o, àní rúbi o.
Ẹ ṣé gan ni mi ní gba time púpọ̀. Nǹkan tèmi fẹ́ sọ nípa mo mọ̀ pé mo ní loud voice. Nǹkan tèmi fẹ́ sọ ni bí a ṣe máa fi kíní ìṣe law tá máa sọ di òfin. Ní 1988 to 2001 mo wà privilege láti ṣiṣẹ́ ní East, Aba, Owerri, Enugu. Ibẹ̀ mo ti mọ̀ pé kò sí ẹni Yorùbá àbí Hausa kan tó lè lọ ra lẹ̀ sí gbogbo bẹ̀ yẹn. Wọ́n tó bẹ́ẹ̀, wọ́n ní ta. So nígbà tí à ń sọ kinní yẹn lánàá mo ní ó possible ká ṣe, because gbogbo àwọn and kì í ṣe poverty náà fi ń talẹ̀ o, even àwọn tó lówó mi ní dárúkọ, but àwọn priest ilẹ̀ church most of them àwọn kinní náà ń tà fún. Ìjọ tẹ́nìkan tó súnmọ́ mi tó jẹ́ Igbo tó ní òun ra ibì kan, mo ní báwo ló ṣe rà? Priest ló tà fún. Màá kọ́ sọ pé priest mi ní sọ kinní. So nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ nìyẹn, kì í ṣe poverty nìkan, greed, pé eléyìí tó máa fún mi lówó jù. So nǹkan tèmi ń sọ ni pé a ní àwọn House of Assembly members, ibi tá a ti máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ nìyẹn, ẹni tó wà active lára wọn wọ́n á gbé kinní yẹn lọ sí house. So a ti sọ pé movement yẹn dẹ̀ máa continue. So tó máa ti gbé lọ pẹ̀lú àwọn kábíyèsí, pẹ̀lú àwọn kinní, wọ́n á lè fi kinní yẹn sí lọ pé tó bá jẹ́ ilẹ̀ Àkúrẹ́ o, kò sí bó ṣe lè lọ transfer tó jẹ́ whole ownership. Ó ní láti jẹ́ bó ṣe sọ, irú Ìjàpọ̀ báyìí 99 years, kò sí bó ṣe fẹ́ ṣe kinní 99 years. So after that year ẹ̀ tún wá renew ẹ̀ so that because tá a bá dúró di Ọlọ́run ò ní jẹ́ ká rí ogun o. So tá a bá gbọ́ pé ọ̀rọ̀ pé ogun kan ṣẹlẹ̀, wọ́n á ní kó má padà wá. Àwa Yorùbá àní àyà ìjà irú ìjà yẹn. So ìyẹn ẹ má jà lọ sí area yẹn. So ti law yẹn ni mo fẹ́ ká sọ. Ó dé state tó ẹ pé even kì í ṣe priest nìkan, àwọn kábíyèsí kan ń talẹ̀ nígbà yẹn. Ní ayé kíní mi ní sọ kíní, wọ́n ń talẹ̀ tó ẹ pé àwọn orientation wọn á change. So tá a bá fi sensitization yẹn sí, tá a bá fi sí ara document a fẹ́ ṣe o. Mo rántí pé ìgbà engineer Olúṣọ̀gá, ìgbà yẹn èmi ló jẹ́ secretary nígbà tó ń ṣe Millennium City Initiative. Ìgbà yẹn ni a ní document a ṣe. Ìgbà yẹn mo ń sọ pé ibo ni document yẹn wà.
Ilẹ̀ ní Ìgbàtòrò èmi ni mo tẹ dáadáa tí mo lé àwọn wọ̀ kúrò ńbẹ̀ nígbà yẹn túrú Déjì Àkúrẹ́ ẹ̀yìn Adébábájọ́. Ìgbà tó gboko ńbẹ̀ tó ń tún oko ńbẹ̀ tó ń tún ta, mo tún tẹ̀síwájú bẹ̀ làwọn ọ̀gá wọn ìwà power line tó ń sọ yẹn. Wọ́n wà ńbẹ̀ Agùnlóyè tó ń ṣe fún ìgbà yẹn ló lé mi kúrò ńbẹ̀. Márùn-ún náà kó ọmọ tó bá mi ṣe ìkòkò tí mo gbìn ató ẹ̀ tóbi sí ọ̀bà ilé. Wọ́n gbéná sí, wọ́n jó, wọ́n dẹ̀ gé gbogbo ẹ̀ kúrò ńbẹ̀. Bí tó fi discourage mi nìyẹn tí mo fi kúrò ní kókó làgbẹ̀ o, tí mo ṣàgbẹ̀ mọ́. Wọ́n dẹ̀ kọ́ àwọn ọmọ ilẹ̀ lọ sí Olókùta. Márùn-ún foko lọ sí Olókùta, gbogbo tí mo ní ni mo ná. Gbàtọ́ dẹ̀ pé mo dẹ̀ ń ná sí kí níbo tí ọmọ mi dẹ̀ ń dàgbà, mo fi oko sílẹ̀, mi ò lọ oko mọ́. Ṣé bẹ́ẹ̀ nǹkan tó ṣe ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwa tá jẹ́ ọmọ Àkúrẹ́ nìyẹn tí a fi lọ oko mọ́. Ìkejì, oko bàbá tó wà ń bí tó ní ká wá ilé ti débẹ̀ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ tó wọ́n ti ṣe wọ́n ti gbé kinní síbẹ̀ tó wọ́n ti ń tà á ibi tó wọ́n ti sọ pé níbi irú ìwòye à ń kó rọ́bẹ̀ yẹn gbogbo bẹ̀ nílé ti wà gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì gba ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ bẹ̀ tí wọ́n ti fi ṣe àwọn iṣẹ́ míì. So mo kàn fẹ́ rọ̀ wá kọ́mítì sà mo fẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ jọ̀wọ́ kẹ́ ẹ bá wálé mo sì ní stress fẹ́ sí àgbẹ̀ o mo ní stress láti ṣe àgbẹ̀ o dáadáa àǹtí Kọ́láwọlé kò ṣe má ní ẹ ṣe mà àǹtí Kọ́láwọlé kò ṣe má ní mo wà láàrín tó yẹ kó bá develop okùn ìgbà kan wọn bẹ̀ wá bá ṣe so obìnrin ni ó ṣe takuntakun náà ẹ jọ̀ọ́ mo fẹ́ kí kọ́mítì sà kó strong kíkọ́ àkóra papọ̀ èmi sì ní stress ọjọ́ orí mi ò tí ì pọ̀ mo ti àjọ kékeré bí about 25 years ni mí so mi ò tí ì dàgbà tó ju bẹ́ẹ̀ so mo sì ní interest torí fishery piggery rabbitry ṣàlẹ́ tí mi ò lè ṣe even gan crops adibu crops kò sí ẹni tí mi ò lè ṣe inú ẹ̀ mo ń ba ọ̀pẹ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ oko tẹ́ ẹ sọ pé small London yẹn adéjọ́ṣe yìí ẹ̀yin mo bá gbẹ́ ti ẹnjìnà Kẹ́hìndé mo ṣe manager fún 15 years ni mo bá gbìn olùlàdó tó wà nílàdó ni mo bá gbìn Dàpọ̀ Fúlàní ni mo ń gbìn lọ ní 2007 tí mo tó dà pé kí n tó kúrò bẹ̀ tí ò ṣẹ́ mọ́ mo kúrò ní ọ̀hún fẹ́ bẹ̀yìn lórúkọ Ọlọ́run kọ́mítì àwa Àkúrẹ́ fẹ́ ṣiṣẹ́ ẹ jọ̀ọ́ àwọn tá fẹ́ padà sóko yìí ẹ jọ̀ọ́ encourage wa mi ò bẹ̀rù àwọn gbénigbéni wọ̀nyí o nǹkan tó lọ́ máa fi mí ṣe la fi mí ṣe o torí kí nìdí ẹ̀ ni pé ẹni tó lọ́ bá ń sọ pé ó ń lọ tó lọ́ bá tún pamọ́ àpamọ́ ibẹ̀ bẹ̀kí tẹ́ pé ká sọ pé à ń bẹ̀rù àjókòó sílé irú àwọn ọ̀nàrẹ́bọ̀ ọmọládé tó ń lọ sọ́hún àwọn náà fi ìgbàgbọ́ àti ẹ̀mí Ọlọ́run ṣiṣẹ́ ni tọ́lọ́run dẹ̀ ń jẹ́ kó lànà fún wọn ẹ jẹ́ ká encourage àwọn tó wà lọ́dọ̀ wa ká papọ̀ ká ṣiṣẹ́ fún progress wa ẹ ṣé Ọlọ́run àgbàdúrà yín.
God bless you. Thank you very much. Okay sir. lẹ́yìn bàbá lẹ́yìn ọ̀gá ẹ̀yin.
akújòkó lẹ́ẹ̀kan sorúkọ tèmi ní Káyọ̀dé Ẹ̀ṣọ́ retired fisheries officer ní Ministry of Agric not tired ṣé orúkọ tèmi ní Káyọ̀dé Ẹ̀ṣọ́ retired fisheries officer fisheries ṣe rí ṣe rí kíní kan máa ń dùn mí which has to do with insecurity kà pariwo yìí mo show picture mi on my brother kéde orúkọ jà yìí 2024 I went into because eo feed ẹja what you are talking about ẹja lẹ́yìn is intensive aquaculture tọ́wọ́ pé fẹ́ máa sin ẹja nínú concrete pond or tank you pay a lot of money for the feed and the cost of a feed a bag of feed now is just too exorbitant and ẹja dẹ̀ jẹun bí kòkòrò jẹun ni so but if it's certain pond àyè tó bá feed wọn láàárọ̀ all the organic products kẹ nínú omi zooplankton phytoplankton á tún boost the growth wọn wá rí jẹ kòló and other things so I went into tomato farm in 2024 unfortunately I didn't have money for irrigation mo show picture until lórí fóònù mi September last 2024 lòjò ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí stop so kẹ́tíókò ní òjò I lost close to 4.5 million ní oko ni ọ̀n sọ̀rọ̀ insecurity ṣe bí òkà alí kékeré àbá kan ló wájú lé àbá mi lé ọ̀dọ̀ pé tu ibi kan tẹ́ tayo ni àbúlé àbá ló kọṣẹ́ àtẹrígbà kó afẹ́ ọlẹ́bẹ̀ ìgbàlẹ̀ ẹlẹ́bẹ̀ ìwọ kò àtẹ ọbẹ̀ wà gbálẹ̀ mọ́jú ni iṣẹ́ ṣe yẹn dà I wrote a letter to Honourable Ọmọládé I showed you the letter.
It's not a person that has only one plot. Only one plot. Madam. Wọ́n ní kò tí rẹ̀ ká máa ṣiṣẹ́ wa lọ o. Ká ṣe lọ. Or we'll just have break for 5 minutes and come back. Okay, let's just have that one for 10 minutes and come back, please. Within the next 10 minutes. Thank you.
ṣe ìnìyàn ṣe ni pé ibo ni ìṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ yẹn wà ókè lẹ́yìn oko mi èmi náà ìlú ààbò ni mo lé oko sí àbá sẹ̀lẹ̀ òun lè fún mi lálẹ̀ 6 plots fún tomato mo gbọ́ fọ̀ wọn jà lébẹ̀ ọ̀n pé street ọ̀n pé oko ní oko omi adùn lé ọ̀nà ibẹ̀ omi adùn so even on that stretch there was a guy that came from America koya establish poultry feeds company bẹ̀ ọ̀n gbẹlúgbẹ ni he was kidnapped they paid not less than 60 million ẹni ọmọ area yẹn express kan tí a gbà yà síbẹ̀ ẹ̀ ṣinú kìíní after American petrol station bẹ̀gbọ́n mo ti gbọ́ pé ibẹ̀ ó wà so violent gan when you talk about kìíní èmi náà mọ ya báyìí abami kékeré náà dábọ̀ ọ́nù ká lè rí mọ́lẹ̀ àrímọ́lẹ̀ o àtẹ̀mí àti wọn ṣiṣẹ́ mi I got 6 workers èyí kò mọ̀ parí 2024 èyí ò ṣiṣẹ́ mọ́ musan bẹ́ẹ̀ tán ọ̀dọ́ kó mi lọ́dọ̀ mi o ọ̀nìkè lẹ́yìn kulé mi lẹ́yìn jí mi kọ́ tẹ̀lé mi ọ̀n ṣáláda mọ́jọ́ wọ̀ mí ò bẹ́ẹ̀ mo rí wọn nínú oko kànrà kan kẹjọ́jú bóde àwòmọ́jú adìyẹ onú adìyẹ kàkẹ́ nínú ìgò níjà gbàgbé rẹ̀ I told them let's go back to ìṣẹ̀ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ok ṣé wọn lè dé jàre báyìí wọn bèèrè náà dáa tó bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣé wọn lè dé kọ́ta ní wọn bèèrè náà dáa tó bẹ́ẹ̀ kété ọ̀nà kọ́ oko ní kágbàgbé fún ọmọ ilé òkú mo ti lè mú lọ síbẹ̀ ni kété ọ̀nà kọ́ oko ọ̀dọ̀ rẹ̀ àní àfi aró then ok engineer Tomide mo rò pé ó fẹ́ join wa ni so yeah welcome ṣe Professor Mekusi I'm your friend on a liberal platform Kayode Esho so all access road kọ́ oko ni kọ́ ọ̀nà ìlú ààbò kàn sọ pé kínní èyí kọ́ ibi oko mi mo wá àwọn kékeré rì mọ́ bẹ̀ ọ̀n débẹ̀ o then all this access road kan bá ro ẹ̀ sí ọ̀n bèyè kékeré because ọ̀nì kan bá fẹ́ ṣèkà kọ́ bá débẹ̀ ilẹ̀ amọ̀fẹ́ ìkàlẹ́ yà ṣe but wọ́n kí wọ́n ṣèkà wà lọ freely okay ìyàwó 1983 during the ogun ọmọ borí owó ọ̀ndé ìyàn mopo 17 kan yà dà lúrú ọ̀ndé òkè igbó ọ̀ndóyin sí wọn. aṣẹ́fẹ́ sọ fún mi pé local technology yẹn ò sí ni if not for the fact pé bóyá pé àyídà ti wá dissolve cabinet ẹ̀ ń gbà yẹn èmi àtàtìbá ti jòkó kí ni wọ́n lè ṣe ǹjẹ́ a lọ sí ìrìn ǹjẹ́ a lọ sí ìjàrẹ́ ǹjẹ́ a lọ sí sọmọríkà kété ọ̀nà kọ́ Ondo state wọ́n á ró gbogbo ẹ̀ wọ́n bí àwọn dá tó bẹ́ẹ̀ even ó wà nù psalm 1845 pé àyà yóò pa àlejò gbọ́n á fọ ẹ̀ẹ́dọ́ jẹ́mi sọ ìdàbọ̀ bóyá psalm 1845 or 45:18 ó ní àyà yóò psalm 1845 ó ní àyà yóò pa àlejò wọ́n sì fẹ́ bẹ̀rù boro sọ́kúrò níbi kọ́ lọ́sọ̀rọ̀ wọn ẹ jẹ́ àdàgbégbé kínní sí kọ́ńtẹ́jì eré bá mi jẹ́
so nǹkan bá a sọ̀rọ̀ sà nǹkan tí mo fẹ́ kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ síbẹ̀ yẹn ni pé our committee is recommending that our traditional ruler should synergize okay jẹ́ ká mọ̀ tó fi mọ̀ fẹ́ fún ẹ̀yin jẹjẹ akọ́gé ìmọ̀ ya sábà wà lórí ẹ̀kọ́ báyìí ti ṣe ipe they should synergize with the local hunters herbalists and those local hunters okay and traditionalists in making sure that to secure the land and relate with government if kábíyèsí pẹ̀lú àwọn ìjòyè Àkúrẹ́ South tó ń bá rí ayélujára tí wà ní ìrọ̀lẹ́ tó ń sẹ̀lẹ̀ lé fún àtẹ̀kẹ̀ serious than individualistic approach because ọ̀nẹ́kan lẹ́mọ̀ kó ọkàn òun o ọ̀gá ẹ̀kọ́ sọ̀rọ̀ kan lẹ́sìn báyìí what of the psychological trauma kéèyàn kí ọmọ ọlọ́mọ lọ sóko kan pa méje even though fúnra ẹ̀gbọ́n èrò àbá so àwọn wọ̀nyẹn kan bá wa handle ẹ̀ I know if it's coming from us Deji we take it up àdèmọ̀ pé láìpẹ́ bá wọn á yan Olùjàrẹ́ so all of them will work together láìsí Olùjàrẹ́ but they still have some people there And my friend is Aruto and Ijare person. Although Lagbara came for you. But only advice you are. And then not only that is the vice president of Egbemo Ijare. So one very powerful Egbe. After Egbe Olotu Egbemo Ijare, Egbemo La, they are powerful organizations.
The company you be, I don't know where he is from. Yeah, where is he from? The owner of the company. So that's just one person. So, but now we're talking about a company. Why should a company that is owned by the whole 3 Akure-Speaking communities, why should that kind of company not be trading in cocoa? There's nothing stopping it. From there, we move on to other things. So, so we are the ones who are our driver from our, because about to agree that they propose, then we'll give flesh to it. The first 3 months, only my watch, the first week, the second week, the third week, every week, things are coming to the secretariat because they need to actually set up a secretariat now. Then they take everything serious. Then maybe before you know it, once you pay cooperative Tiwambe, then the other companies. So that's also what I need to add. Then in the matter of I was listening to the rapporteur on the matter of healthcare and pharmaceuticals. Ẹ mọ̀ pé tí máa sọ pé tí wọ́n bá ní ambulance service pé in less than a year at least I make be 500 million. Any believe. You can set up ambulance service with about 200 million. Ambulance and paramedic service. Share how many people to help me? One mama, I lost my cousin because cause ambulance to my agbe. Nile. Cause ambulance to my agbe, and I don't need to. I lost my cousin because ambulance to my agbe in Leloru osi. And you need to know you don't want to hear who he is. So if at that level he can die because there's no ambulance service, everybody need it. So Oma Wambe, ambulance service, we need a school of nursing. This school of nursing, you see, and like I said, Mrs. Aoshika Sokwe, we have to do things. I'm not sure there's anybody in Nigeria that he cannot call, that she cannot call, that woman. But we have to do things in spite of government. So I think this community, I don't know, is there a school of nursing in the new Futa now, the new Futa hospital? I know there's a school of nursing here. I'm just
500 something megba. Mo láti invite èèyàn. Wọ́n kàn fẹ́ sọ fún wa bá ṣe lè ṣe ni o, in case kò bá mú ká mọ̀ fi àti o. Mo ṣán oko on finance. Mo ṣán oko, mo gégi sí. Nǹkan necessary things kò yẹ ká ṣe àṣe. Mo invite èèyàn. Mi ká àbọ̀ kan ya ṣoko. Wọ́n débẹ̀, apẹ́ẹ̀gì rẹ̀ mọ́ pín. Èmi náà ní tèmi. So olùsọ̀rọ̀ asán, mi kàn mọ̀ sọ anything. Go and be farming, but ain't gbọ́dọ̀ gbìn permanent crop. Just plant what you will eat. Cocoyam, yam, beans, rice, maize, any form of arable crop. Ain't gbọ́dọ̀ gbìn plantain gan. So mo ń láti but mo sọ fún ọ mo fẹ́ gbin ọ̀pẹ sí ni o kí n bá mi take care. They were happy. That was ṣe mo ṣe bẹ̀rẹ̀ ló gbẹ̀rún rẹ̀ ni. So ìmọ̀ òbẹ̀rù finance kí n bá ti yóò lo ọgbọ́n yìí assist ni kí n náà léwu tẹ́ni so that you be able to monitor them come and destroy nǹkan ni so that's what I did yes yàrá kan benefit na from our area there yes so yes so mẹ sọ fọ kí mẹ ayé lè gbà mẹ wá agric mo ṣe ni ma ṣe because mo ti ro lẹ́nu ọjọ́ mẹ́ta yẹn lékè alẹ̀ múrìndé yọ mi èmi láyé àtijọ́ mi ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ I be 72 this year I retired 2015 so mi lédà kí mi ti túbọ̀ lálẹ́ àlọ́ kí mi ti àríbí àbúrò mi kò ti ṣe létè bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ nínú oko ṣíṣe so something happened lẹ́nu ọjọ́ mẹ́ta that is about 1 month ago ọ̀rẹ́ mi kan lé abroad ọmọ family kan náà lájọ rẹ̀ ó bẹ̀ sí kọ́ hòtẹ́ẹ̀lì ẹ ṣe mo blame rẹ o bẹ̀ tí mo kà á jọ sọ kí yọ encourage rẹ so ó kọ́ hòtẹ́ẹ̀lì ló gbẹ̀rẹ̀ kan
but tó bá ti wá yá they will come back to it and it's getting to the stage that the leaders like our older ones they are not carrying us along properly so please I want to suggest if I'm sure by God's grace all these things will definitely come to pass please let the students let the youth let the young ones be fully aware and it will start from our children àwa táwọn bínú àwọn siblings wa àwọn parents àwọn ọmọ yín they should join communities that make sense that will develop them that will make them grow that's just my suggestion sir.
What's your name?
Good afternoon, everybody. Yes, there is one thing this Akpabio, when he was governor of Akure-Speaking State, did. And that really helped the production of tomato and other crops in his state. Yeah, I said there was something Akpabio did when he was governor of Akure-Speaking State. Yes, the present Senate president. They trained the youth. After that, they provided land for them. Give them that allocation. They have, during the course of training, it was practical. The government had their farm where they started from the nursery and the planting and the growing of that tomato. It was an absolute training. Then after that, there was an allocation of land and finance was made available. They were not given raw cash, but all that is needed for everyone to be able to farm and have a good tomato farming was provided for them. And from there, most of them are now employers of labor. So if what we are saying within Akure, if the three local governments can key into it, provide land. And you know, when there are many people in one area working or they have their farms, there will always be many people in that farm. The issue of insecurity will not be there because most times they thrive because there are few people in that place. But when you have many people, there is yes, around that place, it will be very difficult for them to have the courage to come to come and attack. So if the government can provide even on lands alone, and you see people, thank God for this, I pray that it will not end here. If the platform is created, maybe yes, then we'll take it up from there. Those who are ready, who will be interested, will be identified. Then, if a place is provided, we can key into it. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I want to talk about the concept. My name is Adebayo Joyce from Akure. I want to talk about the concept of introducing youth to agriculture. And I want to talk about two aspects. One is using AI, because technology is the same thing that took them away from farming. And we can still use that technology to entice them back through the uses of AI, because if you see the rate at which kids, youth, and even some adults are very, very engrossed about AI videos online. Like you will see an adult watching all these AI generated videos, they will be very, very engrossed. The same way, we can use it to create like agricultural programs that will keep them engrossed. Even games. Even okay, and also I want to talk about one thing, is soilless farming. A lot of youths, they have seen that, oh, farming is strenuous. But this soilless farming, you don't need, you don't need to pick a cutlass. You can create a greenhouse. There are places that are barren, that normal could germinate. But if you create a greenhouse, and one kidney they will be hanging, you can plant like tomatoes, lettuce, even this you can plant it. You can plant pepper, different type of pepper. I've seen it. I've seen a lot of people doing it in their countries, in all these countries. And okay, Tobawa, maybe government produce has 1 year. Tobati come money school, 30 more, maybe the theory part. Then they can go, they can come. Instead of like going to excursion, they can come there. They will see the practical part, how it's done. It will keep them engrossed. It will keep them, they want to like start it. Somebody okay, kini yo, it's not that they have to like take cutlass, they have to like cut bush or something. And even like the fact they will like it. It's one thing I've seen a lot of people doing it. And I feel if people do it here, a lot of youth want to start it. That's just what I'm saying.
So what she's saying is that we should use technology to attract our youth into agriculture. Abisa.
My name is Dr. Adeyeye Samuel.
I'm using the opportunity to greet you people all. I'm happy to be in your mix. I represent Asiwaju Igbo. I'm Igbo man, Chief Kenneth Olo. I believe we should not be left out, because there's a time it will reach now. Language will take over. Yes, no. I know what I'm saying. That time I say, so we are non-indigenous. I believe people will carry us along. Thank God bless you.
Get your name clearly. Bitati Bere, where we started from. Nikpe, investment is about commerce, it's about trade, it's about development. If you are a non-indigenous, and I don't think there is any indigenous of this community, of any of the communities, that is not experiencing bad road in one form or the other. It has that has nothing to do with what language you speak. When you buy shares in a company, if you buy shares in Cadbury and they are giving dividend, they cannot write where you have come from. So this is strictly, that's why we have suggested that where we are going to start from is to properly register companies that we are going to use, of which anybody, even the people who are not living in this community, who are living in Kauri Namoda, can register, can buy shares, can own part of the company. So there will be no room for ethnicity. There will be no room for any divide. There will be no room for language issues, none. That our friend also said it. There will be no room for division, and everything will be transparent. That's why we're going to make sure that from day one, there is an auditor on board. Anybody wants to, if we are going to buy water, if any of the companies is going to buy water, the platform, it will be sent to the platform that the company wants to buy.
fúnra wọn so that a lè fresh tó bá fresh yẹn bẹ́ẹ̀ tà ju ilé tó ti wà nílé àbí oye yín ẹ̀yin ló mọ̀ pé ẹ̀yin lẹ ṣe fúnra yín. Mo ra feed tó jẹ́ pé mo rí kíní àgbàdo ewé àgbàdo nínú ẹ̀. Ó ti dé sí ètò jẹ́ pé àwọn kíní wọn yẹn ó ti wá wọ́n, àwọn náà ti improvise another means láti rí i pé wọ́n gba the other way, cut ways so that àwọn náà wà profitable. Kíní àgbàdo ewé ẹ̀ mo rí nínú ẹ̀ tó ti gbẹ. Mo lọ sọ fún wọn, wọ́n ní irọ́ ni, mo á fi hàn wọ́n, ó rẹ̀ wọ́n. So ẹ jọ̀ọ́, there are many ways. Everything ti bá ní màmá fi sórí platform so that àwa máa fi encourage ara wa. Thank God we have a group now. Ẹ ṣé.
Ibi tí màá ti kọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ nígbà tí àwọn bàbá wa ń sọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan, táwọn bàbá wa sọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan, wọ́n ní tá bá fún àwọn politician wa ní enough responsibility yí pé wọ́n á lè ṣe nǹkan wọ̀nyí better ju pé kán máa náà sí àwọn tọ́ọ̀gì nǹkan kan máa fi lè encourage àwọn ọmọ wa kéékèèké. So the next thing ni pé ká kọ́kọ́ mọ ngbà tí ẹni tó wà ní position tí ò kì í ṣe ẹni tá a lè bá sọ̀rọ̀, báwo náà ṣe fẹ́ fún ní enough responsibility. Then gbogbo ẹ̀kọ́ tá à ń kọ́ ẹ́ àti bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń kọ́ wa ẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń sọ ẹ́, ẹ jẹ́ ọgbọ́n tá a lè fi gbé sí practice, bó tiẹ̀ jẹ́ ẹyọkan nínú gbogbo nǹkan tó wà nínú ìwé yìí, bó jẹ́ ẹyọkan la mú tán gbé sí tán ṣe ní practice tẹ́ ẹ ṣe tán rí i pé wọ́n ṣe, á encourage àwọn èèyàn. Ká má kàn sọ pé bá a ṣe ṣe, because this is a seminar tá a lè pé tẹ̀tí fún wa. So báwo la ṣe lè put it into practice kó lè real? Ìyẹn ni nǹkan àkọ́kọ́ tí mo fẹ́ sọ. Then èkejì ni pé bí àwọn tó ti jẹ́ expert báwo lẹ ṣe lè coordinate wọn, gbogbo ọgbọ́n tán nìyẹn kàn put it into practice. Wọ́n ní wọ́n lè ṣe feed, ẹni tó lè ṣe feed tán bá rí èèyàn méjì mẹ́ta tó pa ọgbọ́n pọ̀ tán fi ṣe feed síta, kàn tiẹ̀ náà sí kàn encourage wọn díẹ̀, kàn ṣe síta káwọn èèyàn máa rí rà ń bẹ̀. Ẹ rí i pé gbogbo kìnnì bẹ̀ náà láti rí ọmọ tá a sọ pé òun fẹ́ lọ kọ́, mo fẹ́ kọ́ṣẹ́ iṣẹ́ tá à ń kọ́ náà ṣèbí à ń kọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀ ní kíkọ́ ni mímọ̀. Dẹ́ni ọ̀rọ̀ mi kẹta ni pé gbogbo nǹkan tá a ti sọ ń bì í, tá a ti sọ, ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe kó jẹ́ nǹkan tó rí táwọn èèyàn á máa rí, tá a máa fi ṣe example ní.
On the streets, for example, look at Tukana, look at that small four doors taxi, it goes everywhere. So please, I want this study group to please look critically into this. Then number 2, I happen to be the state coordinator, the ONDO state coordinator of the Institute of Industrial Security and Safety of Nigeria, IISSN Abuja. There will be important need for us to also register private security companies that will render man-guard activities. All these assets we are talking about, the infrastructure, some of our sons and daughters are into security service. It's a security, I mean, these private guards. We can as well have it. Ajoshepo, private security company. Just like the normal private security companies that we have all around. These personnel that will be recruited as night guards, as day guards, they will be our sons and daughters. Please, I want this gathering, this study group to please critically look into the establishment of these 2 companies. Thank you very much, sir.
We have his detail. Did you get his name? Please introduce yourself again.
Summary tí chairman give. My own, I will put it this way, sir. Catch them young in agriculture. Catch them young in agriculture. And that ìyẹn á jẹ́ ká padà sí nǹkan tí bàbá Olúwaládé sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan pé a gbọ́dọ̀ recommend láti bí pé kí àwọn iléèwé both primary and secondary kan encourage agriculture. Ìgbà tí èmi wà ní secondary school Wednesday la máa ń ṣe agric school tí mo lọ à ń ta iṣu kò sí nǹkan tá a kì í tà nígbà yẹn. So if with that gbogbo that will put it in the mind of láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ pé there is hope in agriculture. Then ìkejì sir, the issue of security. But I sympathize with my dear brother, and that is also to tell us that níbi tí nǹkan dé ayọ̀ mú ọ̀rọ̀ security dá ìjọba nù kàn. Each community, each camp should sit down and plan their security. Ìgbà tí àwọn dáàdì yẹn sọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan, wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ nípa àwọn ọlọ́dẹ Àgbẹ̀kọ̀yà and co. Mo rò pé ibi tá a dé now, níbi ká dé yìí, a gbọ́dọ̀ padà sólé kí olùkọ̀ọ̀kan kan yà set up security committee. We are doing it in Nigeria today. And our plan now is a 3.5 years plan. We can't leave it to government. Though ayo muketere for any involving ọlọ́pàá, Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn, but there are also aspects that has to do with tradition. Because ibi oko kí wọ́n ọlọ́dẹ ìlú lé ọlọ́pàá lé ọbẹ̀. That's the basic truth. So by now your camp oko ọ̀nẹ̀ ìmọ̀já amúkẹ́tì rẹ̀ dá ìjọba. Then bóyá olùlí gbé kalẹ̀. Get about 20 million on security for 3.5 years. With your experience, sir, farming is capital intensive. Today, government is not even ready to in fact, in the recent time, I have one experience. Iraq set a platform but at the same time, at the set law, at the set the platform at the Mungbar area. No, it's unfortunate. In fact, I'm into one or two of those groups. ọ̀ya ká san 500 yóò kàn bọ̀ at the end of the day oníkó delete the group one and some of educated information na jẹ́ agbọ́mọ̀fà no I'm not a dummy. So I think this committee should be able to recommend to ourselves how to form ourselves into cooperative groups. Government, unfortunately, kí government ṣe gan, ìyẹn èèyàn rẹ̀ kò yẹ kí Jude ọ̀dọ̀ farmer, they also corner it. Ebi mọ̀tẹ́ dáko as at least mọ̀ká mọ̀ tó mi yàtọ̀ sọ́ọ̀sì. And make sure for ẹjọ́ kí akọ́bátí mọ́ ní asoko náà á yà kó èròjọ́ lébẹ̀ kan bẹ̀ sí bá sọ̀rọ̀. Until I run into them one day more for this thing no, right, we have to get to the root of it. I come on down here, so please, Agbudo need to educate our people. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Ẹ ṣeun sá. Àǹtí kan jáde lẹ́ẹ̀kan wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ nípa okay àǹtí kan jáde lísìn wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ nípa bí wọ́n ṣe lè train farmer youth ṣé mo ní Fàdámà a ní youth village sí àwọn local government kankan a lè replicate ẹ̀ náà l'Àkúrẹ́ ká ní Àkúrẹ́ bí agric village tẹ́ pé anybody tó jẹ́ ọmọ Àkúrẹ́ á lè lọ bẹ̀ bóyá pé ó fẹ́ láìdí àmọ́ ṣe ń ṣe jìyẹ́ á bá wọn bẹ̀ bóyá pé ó fẹ́ láìdí àmọ́ ṣe ń ṣe tòmátò á bá wọn bẹ̀ tó bá yẹ pé ó fẹ́ láìdí àmọ́ ṣe ń ṣe epo á bá wọn bẹ̀ tẹ́ bá lọ sí àwọn youth village yẹn if àwọn secondary school lọ bẹ̀ fún bíi seminar bíi excursion so irú yẹn a gbọ́dọ̀ ní tá bá fẹ́ kí committee kó progress kí àwọn youth kan lè wá if àwọn kan lè wá gan from outside Àkúrẹ́ community tẹ́ pé wọ́n á fọwọ́ wò pé káwọn náà benefit number 2 market area of marketing tomatoes tí a ń ṣe yìí owó tí Haúsá ń pa ní ṣáṣá kì í ṣe owó kékeré o ìgbà kan wà ní minister of agric kélé ìbàjọ́ wà ní management kéda nígbà yẹn àwọn kan wá wọn láwọn consultants wọn náà fẹ́ máa gbowó tomato mo ní mi gbà wọ́n gbé kínní wọ́n sọ gbogbo òyìnbó mo kí pin sí gbogbo òyìnbó mo fọ́ dànù àìníkan ò lè lọ jòkó sínú igbó kó gbé tomato sì dé kí ni wọ́n fọ consultant àríjòkó àgbẹ̀ olórí crate kò lè work so irú marketing kìíní yẹn èsìrìsì náà kẹ́sẹ̀ káàkiri lọ́jà ṣebí àtẹ̀lẹ̀ ọ̀tá jalè àlàáfíà táyọ̀ sọ́jà mojèrè ní ibẹ̀ ni Haúsá ti kọ́kọ́ lọ kà yàrá tomato sílẹ̀ ìlóró gbogbo ọ̀hún ní èsì mọ́ Haúsá rìn múra ní ọkùnrin àrùn ọ̀lẹ́ express ọ̀nìjòkó síbẹ̀ ọ̀bẹ̀ sí gbé everyday 500 naira àdúgbò àti gbé crate kan lébè 500 naira no 4-5 ni àǹdè pínpínpín but tíkẹ́ẹ̀tì náà gọ́gọ́gọ́ tẹ̀rọ is 500 naira so èsìrìsì kejì àní market fún yan product kọ́kútà ṣe irú ata tomato àwọn nǹkan kan díẹ̀díẹ̀ ni ó yẹ ká lè ní market rẹ̀ káàkọ́tì ní ti hàn kókó ọ̀nì ní ti tóbi but ẹnu jẹ káàkiri káyọ̀ lọ́jà rẹ̀ mo jẹ́ mi take time torí ọ̀rọ̀ pọ̀.
ìjàre mo bínú wọ́n fọ ọkọ̀ ìpín tí ìdẹ́dọ̀ ìdí káàtì bẹ̀rẹ̀ kínní committee mọ́rin mo ti make a contribution but ọmọ tí ní lọ́kàn wọ́n fọ agric mo ti participate àní inú mi dẹ̀dùn wọ́n fọ ìyẹn abami látújù àti èèyàn kọ̀ọ̀kan lákúrẹ́ líbẹ̀ ẹ̀gbọ́n mi lákúrẹ́ ọ̀hún líbẹ̀ ohun méjì mo fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí ó ṣe oko ó pé kọ́ni bá mọ́gbọ́n sí bí àǹtí ní ṣe fọlé sí ọ̀fọ̀ smart agriculture ọ̀ní bá tẹ́ àbẹ̀rẹ̀ ọṣẹ́ oko kíkọ́ kọ́kọ́ jòkó lẹ̀ á ronú kan yà á ṣe tomatoes kan ń sọ ọ̀gá sàn yà mọ́mọ́ accountant náà rè chartered accountant náà rè so bọ̀ ọṣẹ́ oko yóò kàn rí lóko ọ̀n ní ṣùkúrù mo bínú ọmọ okòyìn sóde bí ọmọ ọjọ́ mẹ́jọ ọ̀n ní ṣùkúrù bí wọ́n ṣe sọ lẹ́sìn bí àbàmì kan jòkó lẹ́ni ṣe sọ fọ̀ rẹ́ ní hotel ìyàn ní ṣùkúrù but òní ọyọ mọ fún òun kàn rí lóko ojú kàn rí lẹsùkúrú ìmọbínú èmi àti ẹran ẹ̀gbọ́n mi náà jẹ wàhálà kan rí kọ́ńtì lọ síbi méjì ọ̀gá mi gan mọ̀ àti wọ́ fúnra lé bí méjì mẹ́ta lọ́rọ̀ ṣùkúrú bọ̀ọ̀rọ̀ oko ọmọ kan rí lébẹ̀ ní tomatoes ń gan náà ọ̀là àkókò kan gbọ́dọ̀ gbìn káwọn tẹ̀ mọ́ fún àárí kìíní lébẹ̀ kété ọ̀nìyàn gbọ́dọ̀ mọ̀ dẹ́ inú mi dùn ọ̀gá ọmọládé kò jòkó lẹ̀ sí bẹ́ẹ̀ Ifẹ̀ náà ti ṣe jáde economics náà ṣe but he never practiced even when the opportunity came to really have a paid job he took into agriculture ara ọ̀rá kìnnú mi ń yùn sílẹ̀ Akure líbẹ̀ ọ̀fọ̀ kan yóò tọ́ka sí as àpẹẹrẹ rere then it is not a smooth journey náà wọ́n ṣe lọ he had challenges but ṣé last year or year before the last ìyẹn ọmọ rin ọbẹ̀ mẹ́rin mẹ́rọ lóko kọyẹ́ fún ọ̀pá sọnù lẹ́nu oko rin then lọ́rọ̀ oko náà kà í sọ oko oríṣi méjì léyà o oko àròjẹ oko àṣelà ọ̀nì máa fún yà ṣe oko àròjẹ bó ṣe ṣe lọ́dún ń kárí lébẹ̀ ọdún líre o òun làbà mi ní sọ́lẹ̀sìn ní residual source of income le plantation ká wọ́fọ̀ èyí ṣe bí agbára rẹ̀ á ṣe mọ́ láti kékeré níṣe yàrá a lọ agbára dínkù bí ọjọ́ orí ṣe lọ lè rẹ̀ oníbà lágbára ọ̀fọ̀ yóò ṣe greenhouse lọ́dún yìí àsìkò ìbọ̀kọ̀yẹ́fọ̀ èèyàn lágbára àti monitor rẹ̀ bí ọ̀gá Sànyà ṣe é ṣe so orúgbìn ọ̀nà ilé on plantation jáde ìhàn residual source of income ibẹ̀ náà tí a rí ó àbárẹ̀ adéjọ èsìlẹ̀ country currently is a very good reference point including ọ̀gá ọmọládé kan líbẹ̀ àti ọ̀gá Sànyà kan líbẹ̀ àti àbá mi kan jókòólẹ̀ síbẹ̀ àbárin ìmọ̀bínú àbárin àbákétéré náà rè lu akérèlú kàbá ti kú lójúlé ogbẹ ẹnì kàn bá ti yà grade kòkó àbá odidi ìṣíjọ́ lire símọ́kó rọ́ṣà then ìyẹn àbárin ìjà o afọ́fà kàwé lire o a lè ó tó ìyẹn àbárin ọ̀hún ni economically prof can really attest to this èèyàn abáyín yàtọ̀ sí ọ̀rọ̀ church one man one wife iṣẹ́ ní based on economy ìyẹn ọkùnrin kèlí bẹ ìràwọ̀ olè yóò ní ìyàwó méjì mẹ́ta kọ̀yẹ́fọ̀ àjẹmí ó wá sí. No sir, economically lèmi sọ lé ara kàn á fọ àṣìṣe ìjọba ẹ̀ kàn á fọ.
For any position, especially the governorship something, Akure will see it and support such a fellow. Even to the extent that if the Abuja people feel they want to pick somebody, they want to do it in Abuja, then that one will be difficult. Then we will go to any party, be it Z Labour Party or anywhere, to sọ pé ọmọ wa tá a fẹ́ kó ṣe ni, and we will get there because of the numbers. Then let's be mindful, and again, Mr. Secretary, note this. Beyond that statement which Kabiyesi has given, we need to craft what's it called? A purpose-driven vehicle that will address mobilization, sensitization in respect with regard to political activities of Akure-Speaking area towards ensuring we get whatever we want. For example, if the INEC will come up now and they say they want to validate or they want to out, that committee should go out and encourage more and more people to register. And when it's now time for the election too, iṣẹ́ yẹn ò tí parí, àwọn bàbá wa, àwọn kábíyèsí wa, and now àwa as individual. You understand? So whatever, wherever they said Akure is good, we should all go there and ensure that after 50 years of state creation, it's sad that Akure-Speaking community have never had that taste of being on the saddle. The only time was during military when Otiko was there. You know, military is an aberration, and again, so these are things. So thank everybody. We thank you so much, and I will hand over the mic. The mic is not, but I don't know. Are you using it to record? Are you using it to record or what? Okay. Okay, thank you. So I will hand over the mic to the president of the session, because this report, the whole report, when they put it together again, she will have to study it and with a view to presenting it to the larger house, and where more question and more contribution will come in. Thank you.
Without condition, without restraint, ẹja ó dáadáa torí èkó múrin kan ẹ bọ̀ ọ̀gá ẹ mọ̀ pé Adélóyè sàn ọ̀ní bá mọ̀ ọ̀wọ̀ dáadáa yẹn àmọ́ Adélóyè very big family lè rè lọ́wọ́ lé ọ̀wọ̀ èèyàn family fẹ́ institutionalize. community. Báwo lèèyàn ṣe nílẹ̀ ní Yorùbá first come first occupier ni. Àtọ́fẹ́ nílẹ̀ ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá nìyẹn. So mo fẹ́ rọ̀ wá orí ilẹ̀ yẹn a gbọ́dọ̀ wá. Ẹni bá máa ṣe criminal ó ní ìdìbí kan àti àbọ̀ rẹ̀ wọ́n fẹ́ wà lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ èsì kan yóò gbé ní. Tábà ti fún wọn nílẹ̀ tó ń ṣe gbogbo yẹn ìyẹn a gbọ́dọ̀ traditional society àwọn bàbá wọn yẹn la máa bá sọ̀rọ̀ torí èmi ò mọ kan tó jẹ́ pé irú àwọn ọ̀gá wa tó ń wà ní extreme ẹ̀dí báyìí báwo làwọn kan ṣe máa wá láti ìlú bòmí tá máa dẹ́rù bá wọn Ọlọ́run á ràn wá lọ́wọ́ lórúkọ Jésù.
Àmísà ẹjọ́ sà mo ti béèrè pé wọ́n ní lunch ò tí ready and the way it is the way ẹjọ́ sà the way things are going tá bá ti proceed on lunch that will be the end of the day's activity so let's quickly conclude most of these things tá a sọ yìí ló ti wà nínú recommendations wa we want to assure us but a kàn ní kí ká further strengthen this recommendation agro-processing clusters àti sọ lẹ́ǹkan yes sir prof sir like I used to say when we discourage our government from getting involved in some of these things kò dáa tó o because they are wasting our resources into thuggery into personal aggrandizement on kówó yẹn bó ṣe wù wọ́n ni but when we give them responsibilities honestly speaking they will spend our money on the right things so economy. Thank you my sister all these things we have said because we are trying to carry out capacity building and now ọmọ wa tó wà highly knowledgeable in so many things soilless farming organic farming agroecology we have people who can train prospective farmers on all these things. Show you what I storage facility. As you mentioned, Enko, we don't have a choice. Mechanization, climate smart agriculture, they are all contained here. What can we do? Show you come as of our Gbewa. Oga Lualade said it ní Enko pé òun wà ní platform kan tó jẹ́ pé every day ni òun rí weather forecast. Plant, don't plant. Do this, don't do this. All these things are contained here. Agricultural mechanization. Kì í ṣe tractor nìkan la fi ń ṣe mechanization o. There are other equipments. In fact, there are planters now all over the world. But government àwọn developed Kenya, even developing nations, their governments are involved very deeply in the agricultural development. Torí wọ́n mọ̀ yí pé tí ebi bá pa àwọn èèyàn wọn, they will be in trouble. But we are leaving everything for everybody. Gbèrú rẹ. Ṣé wọ́n yóò bímọ kan báyìí? Lẹ́yìn generation kan àì báyìí kó ọgbọ́n rẹ̀ kó fọ̀kẹ́ agbèrú rẹ̀. Ṣé wọ́n yóò bí ọmọbìnrin kó ọkàn jù sínú agbada báyìí? Ìfà àkọ́ tí mò ń kọ́ ṣẹlẹ̀ ó ti yaṣẹ́wó kalẹ̀ tán fún lé ọlọ́ ṣèbí rẹ̀ because she has to survive. Ọkùnrin báyìí kó ẹ̀ monitor rẹ̀ kó ọ̀fọ̀wọ́ fẹ́ gbọ́n rẹ̀ ṣá káàdà mọ́ ọ lọ. 419 kọ́ bá kàn ti ṣe yahoo ìbádá sórí nǹkan pẹ̀lú yahoo plus ní òní burú jù. Káàdẹ̀ múra ẹ̀yà òun gan-an náà yà mú ṣe yahoo plus ni ọ́. Tọ́ ọmọ rẹ kí ìdè ṣe kéyìí kí lè fún ọ lé ìsinmi. So all these recommendations are here. Climate smart agriculture is here. Káyọ̀ ṣe. Now, sorry o. Irrigation. Nobody is talking of irrigation any longer. I remember in the days of ADP, àgbẹ̀ tube wells for farmers free of cost. And lọ́sọ̀rọ̀ oko àgbẹ̀ tube wells. We will dig bowls, but nobody is doing it. Ṣé politics nìkan la fẹ́ máa mẹ́rin àṣẹ ni? Wọ́n ìdá lóhùn ṣé politics nìkan la fẹ́ máa mẹ́rin àṣẹ ni? All these economic sectors, particularly agri, some of us are pariwo tẹ̀rẹ̀ ìjọbọ̀ lolúwa wí o. Our population is increasing every day, whether we like it or not. Ọlọ́run ajé bí pa á o. Ọlọ́run ajé èèyàn mú wa. What will we do? Oweno Dam, a federal local government, Akure South, Akure North, should collaborate to further develop that facility. Omi náà fọ kí Oweno Dam kí ya provide fún àwọn àbímọ̀kúrọ́. Sincerely speaking, go to Ondo Road. Ìyàwó, go to Ondo Road. Láti mẹ́ẹ̀mọ́ bí kan ti gbé dé báyà ọ̀tí dé ìsìnkàn báyìí. Kété pipe kò gbé omi láti Oweno Dam wá sí gbòòrò wọ́n ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí wú. This current administration wọ́n ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí wú o. Heavy pipes. Heavy pipes. Ọlọ́run lè mọ wèrè kọ́ suggest kíní ní kò government. ọ̀dẹ̀ gbé crane ọ̀dẹ̀ bẹ̀ sí wúyàn pipes on it. Then that dam, then what do we do with it? Agricultural potential kẹ̀lé area dam ni it's so heavy. Kọ́kọ́ ṣe clearing nìkan to clear 1 hectare of land now. Àgbẹ̀ káàká àgbẹ̀ wọn múra o. So why can't our various governments intervene at sort of training of farmers? Market access at the son. Motoson, God bless you. At a buy establishment of a farmer market, lay Ondo Road at the Badebiko now. Get it that for Ondo State government who paid to it. These 3 communities can collaborate and establish a farmers market. Kojekwe for Nisi for Hausa, we won't allow any Hausa man to come and market there. In your town libe. It's doable, it's possible. Ṣùgbọ́n mo sọ lẹ́sìn ọdún ká ṣe kété kíní ọ̀hún ọmọ olúrí alayé ọ̀sọ̀rọ̀ sí létí ká ṣe kíní.
Digital marketing is here. Everything is recommended here. Digital marketing, in fact, if you want to advertise your products now, you go online, Abi Mokoro. It's everywhere. But not all our youths are knowledgeable about the use of digital tools. So our government can organize capacity building for some of our youths, selected ones who are serious to do it. Then export opportunities at so. Now cross-cutting issues. We call something cross-cutting issue. Yàtọ̀ sí ọ̀rọ̀ value chain èmi ni kòkó àwọn kankan wà tó yẹ kó jẹ́ pé a ní láti put in place. Facilitation as a one-stop center for agricultural essential services delivery is so important. Ó ti pẹ́ tá a ti recommend the kìíní, but the government must facilitate, clear a sizable place there. Kò jẹ́ pé mechanization center alebe, input sales center alebe, essential services provision alebe, to be run by government and private institutions, partners. Kò yẹ fún àjọ run rẹ̀. We have recommended this here. Okay, ó fẹ́ bá mi fún. So that we will adasi at so who to run it and what to be done there. Ibe kagbe bá ti débẹ̀ eni so for se be se ran mu nka ibe leta ata ìyànra kẹta chemical ata terion ìyànra kẹta ada ata terion ìyànra ko ye for oni tractor to hire a se terion, and business will be booming there around that place. It's part of our recommendation. They are royal financing the various program. Look back at ìjọba ready at fún alẹ́ what do we do? Look back at ìjọba ready at fún àgbẹ̀lẹ̀ what do we do? But we have some of our sons and daughters who can help. So yeah, but there's no organized structure. Can you help? That's the truth. We can do this using commodity associations here to partner with these people. Ibi ma fẹ́ gbé omi síbẹ̀ ma mọ ọ̀nìkọ̀fẹ́ administer ẹ̀ omi. Àbí we can create a farmers this local bank. All these things are possible. Then there are funds. In your local government area, we will give them, because a governor has so many things. Abi, a local government chairman, but there are funds sitting in so many places. Funds. As a concept note, you can draw funds from so many finance bodies. World Bank Libe, IFAD Libe. All we need to do is just to develop concept notes to them. There are grants here and there. Project Jeff grants enough for ONDO Seto. So many millions. Grants in it, but the money goes to the farmer. There are so many foundations. Your local government administration can link up with. But they are not doing it now. All we are doing is politics, and politics. Challenge of nomadic X-Men in the kingdom. I saw a lot of things. Your secretary, you help us merge our various recommendations to this. You know, unfortunately, almost 60% of heads of cattle in our kingdom are owned by our people. Do you believe that? So it makes it difficult for anybody to control the Fulanis. Locally, Fulani koko da kiniani. Who are you? He told me during Mimiko's examination, the heads of cattle belongs to governor. Me ya sọ fún governor báyìí for we were bá man kan líbé ọ̀hún pé ládé nìyẹn o mo mọ̀ kó ọ̀dà màálù rẹ̀ jáde lórí horticultural center o. Ó ní ìwé ìkànnì it's simple. Mo láta kíkù sínú ọkọ̀ mi mọ́tò mi líbé ń bá ti gbọ́n sí orí grasses ìwọ́jà kán bá ti jẹ́ kán bá ti bẹ̀ sí iná sneeze kàn kú. There are so many things we can do because ọ̀rọ̀ rìn kábàámọ̀ find solution sí babalá wàhálà la jẹ́ dé ọ̀rọ̀ ilẹ̀ land bank scheme ó ti pẹ́ ká ti sọ land bank scheme the local government can do it ṣe federal and state government nìkan lè yóò ṣe o ìfẹ́ àmọ́mọ́ èèyàn rà kọ̀ọ̀kan nílẹ̀ báyìí kàn lò onílẹ̀ personally on lo what is a land bank bí báńkì kàkéwó sí náà ni government land exist private individuals nílẹ̀ ìyẹn communities kan nílẹ̀ kò yẹ for community land ni all we need to do is just to set up an administrative apparat in each of the local government headquarters. Local government headquarters la warehouse that bank. Individuals will come and donate the land in that bank. Okay, money 20 hectares lay ekpinsha, but I'm not using it. Sebe, fún only details of the 20 hectares. Government land no, we put it there. So at that desk, we call it a bank, but it's just a desk with laptop, with everything. Any record of all landowners. Simple. A prospective farmer coming to invest will just come to that desk. Okay, money the ilẹ̀ for farming because somebody said, listen, you are the one who said it, but you are still interested in farming. So, Abi, we need the ilẹ̀ báyìí. Gbé wọn bí kò yọ kọrí sí. But if you know that if you get to Akure South local government secretariat Loni, where there's a desk there where you can lease land, you have the problem you're having now. That's the truth. At that and the administration is so simple. It's so simple. At that bank, come here for 1 hectare or lease here for like 20,000 naira per annum. Onikonile, àfúnlé 10,000. Egbe ẹ̀sọ̀. Ìsèkìlẹ̀ amúnláyé falù kan ló. Receive 10,000 naira. Mo mú example ni o on the lease. Then it's going to be a source of revenue for the local government administration. Fúnra rẹ̀ náà. Èèyàn náà, all they will need to do is pick 5,000 naira from it and reinvest in some of this is or you miss a demonstration farm. Then the remaining 5,000 for administration of the land. Simple as ABC. That's a land bank scheme. We have a state, state land and can also do more law. Communicate. No, me do I say Akure forest yo. To rock lock over. During the last time,
what they are failing to do, what they fail to do, òun ló máa ń padà wá bá wọn nígbà tán bá tún wá ní need help wọn wá ní rí anybody láti rọ̀gbà yí wọn láti ṣàyè wọn kókà ó ti ṣe bílẹ̀ rí. I always say this to people. I'm not a fan of APC. I'm not a fan of the president. But I always love one thing about the president. Hardly he will go to one local government tí ò ní séyàn tí president help directly. And when he needed the help during the last election, everybody rebi àwọn yẹn ṣe padà jáde pé no ó ti ṣe belé ó ti ṣe belé. But it's so sad pé àwọn tó wá jẹ́ tiwa, if those that are with him tó jẹ́ tiwa, they are not following him. I will always say this: God bless the minister for youth. I will tell you, if they should bring out 30 Akure youth today, kò jẹ́ fún oríṣẹ́ federal sectors, 15 to 20 of them will come from the minister for youth. That's just it. We have people. Okay, I will just say this: Abari Alili NDDC now as director. BTO ó fún NDDC níṣẹ́, ó pín slot mẹ́rin àbí márùn-ún recently. Àbí ọmọ Àkúrẹ́ lè ṣe director NDDC. Àkúrẹ́ mélòó lè ríṣẹ́ síbẹ̀ lẹ́ndDDC wọn. Àrùn kò jẹ́ ó yẹ ká abira for at least ṣọmọ àkókò ní director board àbí, ṣùgbọ́n ó fún ọmọ àkókò ó rí slot ó fún ènìyàn márùn àbí ènìyàn mẹ́rin níṣẹ́. What are we now saying? Ṣùgbọ́n ọmọ Àkúrẹ́ lè líbẹ̀. And therefore we want to be governor. By 2028 after general election, a lot of our people are out. As we are pushing for Akure-Speaking, I'm part of the people that do talk about Akure-Speaking on our social platforms. And people will ask me, "Kila omoni, kilo ti ṣe fún yín?" Most of our Akure-Speaking, we have our sons, we have our daughters that they are lobbying for deputy governors already. That's just it. That's it. We have our sons, we have our daughters that they are lobbying for deputy governors. That is it. And I will go back to what my elders have said earlier concerning traditional rulers. And you see, at times, the division that I'm sorry is not happening between just Akure and Idore. Akure South, Akure North, Ifedore. Within our own Akure South, we have that division. Within Akure North, they have that division. Within Ifedore, they have that division. Recently, Igbaki Aba Prime Minister Akure Aba Konshalaisi, Aba Olisa Konshalaisi, Uromu no bimisi, Amo Uromu ni mo wa. Ongo jele ni for according to Konti Sokwa, of Igbaki Olisa Abo of Uromu. No desi, ibe no ti gbera. That means automatically Uromu belongs to Lisa. Igbaka Olisa ku. That week, I read for Enyon Igbo, Osbesin Pa, I read for Iromu, number 8, Uromu Street. Arubui, 11. What does that stand? Igbaka for conclusi, Kite Oja. Elemori for Iromu, Sharoke Lisa. Fara Elemoni. Around Koye Shele no ni Enyon Akure South, Akure North, lórí ọ̀rọ̀ ilẹ̀. Only the Shele land area. We had to I was not like, sir, because Emati Abelemo, I saw the back. I was not like, sir, my baby Muri. And you know, most of Igbo Kilili Alpha, Ilemo Kuko Yawe, Pare, number 29. Yes, number 29. Number 29, Iromu Street. Now, let's assume pé irú nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ ó wá ṣẹlẹ̀ láàrin ìlú méjì. Báwo ni bá ṣe rí? Ara kan tó ń fa division táwọn face l'Ákúrẹ́ ó nìyẹn. So tá a máa ń sọ pé a fẹ́ unite Akure South, Akure North, and Ifedore together. We should also work on reuniting our tájọ share boundary. Kíní yẹn wà dáadáa ó fa ìjà gangan láàrin ara wa. Ìgòbá ni mi gbé. Ìgòbá tí ó sí. On agree. Ọjọ́ share boundary. Àbí on agree. Kí náà lè fàjà. Ilẹ̀ ọ̀dẹ̀jọ́ lé local government kan. Ìyẹn bá ní kì í ṣẹlẹ̀. Ìjọ kò jẹ́ elders ya Ọlọ́run lọ ìbá ṣiṣẹ́ lé ìṣeré.
Inṣere my final submission on lórí èèyàn primary school ya
Presently, during the tenure of this my brother, Lee Igbakoshe, President in the Association of Akure Students, they visited like 10 of primary schools, Kela Akure. Those things are totally down. Totally down. Ibẹ̀ náà dẹ̀ ti produce yan àbúrò cable. And mostly, in Abarake, Liwaju primary school ni.
Kó ojú ẹ bá jó lè ní wà wó ministry. Adamu Shiroma was read history. He was minister of Agric. He did well. He was governor of Central Bank. He did well. Ọ̀gá tó ń ṣe economics by which Agric. Interest ní olè lè rojà. Baba Jasin Baba Fashion was finance commissioner na. Ṣé education ló ṣe? So Kabate, I see a commissioner as a clearing officer. Kí mi as minister of Agric bá máa ṣe commissioner of Agric. Ṣé èmi lè yà ṣe policy paper? Ṣe nìkan kó commissioner mẹ́fọ́. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni sá. So Ọlọ́run àrùn àlọ́. So sá mo fẹ́ dúpẹ́ lọ́rin gan. Mo dẹ̀ gbà ládùúrà ìyàn àyùn lẹ́rùn ní sí. Ọ̀tẹ̀ ìyàn àdé àyùn àsí. Àwẹ̀ ìyàn àyùn lẹ́rùn rẹ̀. Wọ́n like ìyàn mo ṣe wọ̀ ni. So it's well with. So my sister, good to have you. You added color to our presentation. Ẹ bá mi fún látẹ̀wọ́. Oro kan tí mo mojú ọmọdé kí ló ro yẹn ṣe o? Ó ń parun ni. Ó ń parun. We are very. So the secretariat will work on our recommendations. So a lọ jẹun sí. Tó bá jẹ́ pé anytime a lè padà wá. So tá a bá dẹ̀ anytime àárọ̀ ọ̀la we will come and do the presentation to the whole house. But kíni kan wà tí mo fẹ́ ká wò. Ẹ jẹ́ kí kíni tá a ṣe yìí my friend. This thing must have impact in our individual lives. Ó gbúdọ̀ àkàn yóò tòróró ṣá àbára 72 years ó ń fún wa ní information ẹ̀sà mo ní ẹgbẹ́ yín ló pè mí tó sọ pé bí ń pàwọn àti professor ebi yọ pa ọmọ báyà bá ọ̀hún fi pọ̀mpù sí ọ̀pẹ ọ̀hún fi pọ̀mpù sí kó ná jo the second year agbéra àmọ́ tó bá ti pro nẹ tó bá ní problem á sì mí lásán ni ok fẹ́ fún wa kí wàá conclude because chairman ló máa conclude panel.
ìṣòro ọba mi àtẹ̀gbọ́n o mọ̀ fẹ́ sọ ẹ́ ìyá musa òsìríà with I'm one of the leading farmer in the state not matter of fraud both in cash crop and arable. nǹkan ọmọ ro for ọ̀nàká tí ṣàgbẹ̀ fún olórí burúkú ní tálẹ́kà ni ìjà kakọ́ mú àtijọ́ rẹ̀ ni o. Iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ is a good one of the viable investments téèyàn bá ti ní ọpọlọ sí. Now sir mo ẹ ká àwọn chairman ẹ jọ sà lára recommendation ẹ mọ àfẹ́kẹ́ gbọ́ a ní problem kan ní Akure-Speaking o when you go to Ìdànrè. One forest but you can only drive machine 3-4 hours ní Ìdànrè tí both left and right kòkó ni bẹ́ẹ̀ ní ẹ̀dẹ́n àwọn ìdíjì yẹn ló dẹ̀ ní oko yẹn àlejò lè wọ Ìdànrè kó lọ dá oko tó bá máa yá wọn àfọ̀gbọ́n gbà lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ ọ̀kan pàdánù gan but in our own case here with my own experience ní àlà forest reserve lọ sí àgọ́dáda lọ sí gbódú lọ sí power line lọ sí àgọ́ òyìnbó 90% àwa tá àwọn àmbẹ̀ nínú power line sá káàpẹ́ àpẹ́ bíi 90 síbẹ̀ Àkúrẹ́ tó wà ń bẹ̀ ò lè ju 2 mẹ́ta mẹ́rin o at the end of the day nǹkan tá à ń sọ pé wọ́n gbalẹ̀ wọ́n rẹ́ni tó wà níta jọ́chíà boundary tó ní àlọ́ṣe polygon mapping ní ìjẹta orí wọ́n rẹ́ni tó ní 20-something hectares yìí o àwọn Àkúrẹ́ tó wọ́n bẹ̀ wọ́n lè má ju 5 hectares 2 hectares but the problem is ẹ jẹ́ kí aṣọ fún àwọn ọmọ wa tọ́lọ́n bá jẹ́ kí ọ̀rọ̀ security kúrò ńlẹ̀ ẹ jẹ́ ká encourage àwọn ọmọ wa because they should look for farming ẹ̀sà ẹni tí ó gbin kòkó nígbà tó wọ́ 13-40-50 million yẹn tó ń pa 60-70-80 million ṣèbí ó gbìn ní bẹ́ẹ̀ tó o bá ti gbìn ọjọ́ wọ́n sọ pé ó tún ti já ọjọ́ tó bá tún ti lọ òkè yẹn advantage ni o bó jẹ́ ọ̀pọ̀ ẹ̀ ní sà ẹ jẹ́ ká ẹ̀já encourage ọmọ rẹ̀ ẹ kọ́ lè ṣe because òun bú wa o àfọ̀lẹ́ làkúrẹ́ òun bú wa o and ẹ yọ ọ́ lẹ̀ ìyàn gara lọ́dọ̀ rẹ̀ akọ̀rẹ́ mọ́kò àrẹ fọ wọ́n ní when your people no fit confirm you dey blame us ìmọ̀jọ́ ẹ̀já encourage ọmọ rẹ̀ ìyàn àbúrò ìyàn ọ̀rẹ́ rẹ̀ fọkànjá múra sóṣè òkú iṣẹ́ kan sà.
Thank you sir. Ọ̀nà bá ti fọ olórí burúkú làgbẹ̀bẹ̀ ọ̀nà olórí burúkú òun yé ni so ìṣeré o àdúrà la fi bẹ̀rẹ̀ àdúrà la máa fi parí session yìí o èyí rí akọ̀kẹ́ kọ́ bá mọ̀ kó wọn bọ́ lọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ gbọ́ kí ìdìde ké gbàdúrà kọ́ o kó a ti mọ̀ kó fọwọ́ mọ́bílà òun bẹ̀rẹ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ kọ́ dẹ̀ gbọ́ bá kọ́ gbàdúrà kọ́ àwa ya fọ́tò ó yá ṣé mọ́mí ṣe fẹ́. ọ̀yá bá ń fún ọ ní mẹ́kẹ́ ẹ̀ sà.
bàbá ní orúkọ Jésù ayérayé àdúpẹ́ àyìn lógo fún ẹ̀kọ́ tẹ́ ẹ̀kọ́ wa tó tún gbilẹ̀ sínú wa nílùú Àkúrẹ́ yìí tí gbogbo wọn ti sọwọ́ papọ̀ tó ti wọnú ayé gbogbo wọn àti ọba àtọmọ àti joyè ayérayé gbọ́ ọpẹ́ ó yá gba ẹ̀yìn a tún tẹ̀síwájú lọ́la olùwàbà parí ẹ̀ olùwàdúró tì wá kọ̀ọ̀kan ni wọ́n á tún padà sí àyè wa olú àyè kú má yẹ kó ṣí sílẹ̀ fún wa ìdààmú má yẹ kó ṣí sílẹ̀ fún wa lọ́la ká tún wá yìn yín ká tún wá gbé yín ga ní orúkọ Jésù Kristi olùgbàlà wa.
Okay, program.
Drop.
ìyá obìnrin